All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to the living Elohim in the name of Yahuah HaMashiach this day. Let's pick it up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and there they which testify me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe and receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There is one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise to Abba and Shamahim in the name of Yahushua. Shalom, Jake. Shalom, Brother Craig. Ezra chapter 6, verse 7. Let the work of this house of Elohim alone. Let the governor of the Yahudim and the elders of the Yahudim build the house of Elohim in its place. Moreover, I make a decree what you shall do to the elders of these Yahudim for the building of the house of Elohim before the king's goods of the tribute beyond the river, forthwith expenses be given unto these men, that they be not hindered, and that which they have need of, both young bullocks and rams, lambs for burnt offerings of the Elohim and Shamahim, wheat, salt, wine, and oil, according to the appointment of the priests which at Jerusalem. Let it be given unto them day by day without fail, that they may offer the sacrifices of the sweet savors unto the Elohim and Shamahim, and pray for the life of the king and of his sons. Psalm 54. Save me, O Elohim, by your name, and judge me by your strength. Hear my prayer, O Elohim, give ear unto the words of my mouth. For strangers are risen up against me, oppressors seek after my soul. They have not set Elohim before them, Selah. Behold, Elohim, my helper, the Lord with them that uphold my soul. He shall reward evil unto my enemies, cut them off in your truth. I will freely sacrifice unto you. I will praise your name, O Yahuah, for it is good. What's going on, Tavon, man? 1 Kings chapter 8, man. I think, yeah. 1 Kings chapter 8. Give me verse 25, man.
Therefore now, Yahuah Elohim and Yasharal, keep with your servant David, my father, that you promised him, saying, there shall not fail you a man in my sight to sit on the throne of Yasharal, so that your children take heed to their way, that they walk before me as you have walked before me. And now, Elohim and Yasharal, let your word, I pray you, be verified, which you spake to your servant David, my father. But will Elohim indeed dwell on the earth? Behold, Shamahim and Shamahim.
Will Elohim indeed do what?
Dwell on earth.
Do what?
Dwell on the earth.
But what help?
Behold, Shamahim and Shamahims cannot contain you. How much less this house that I have builded? Yet have
pause. Psalms 40:1. Say, will Elohim indeed dwell on the earth? Now you know it told you that what? She should have a son, and they should call her what? Emmanuel, being interpreted what? That God is with us. That Elohim will indeed, what he say, dwell on the earth. Yes, he will. He say, Shamahim can't contain you. You think this house will be able to do it? Go ahead, man. Psalms 40:1.
I waited patiently for Yahuah, and he inclined unto me and heard my cry. He brought me up also out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock, and established my goings. And have put a new song in my mouth, praise unto our Elohim, many shall see, and fear, and shall trust in Yahuah. Baruch the man that make Yahuah his trust, and respect not the proud, nor such as turn aside to lies. Many, O Yahuah, my Elohim, your wonderful works you have done, and your thoughts to usward, they cannot be reckoned up in order unto you. I will declare and speak. They are more than they can be numbered. Sacrifice and offerings you did not desire. My ears have you opened. Burnt offering and sin offering have you not required. Then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book written of me.
That's good, right? Of course, you know in Hebrews it said there's a body that you done prepared. What type of offering he say he required?
Burnt offerings.
And what other offerings?
Sin offerings.
He said he didn't want none of that. Now, why he didn't want any of that? Because none of that stuff could make the coming to thereof perfect. Now, of course, y'all know from Ezekiel 48:35. Who know what Ezekiel 48:35 say? It say the name of the city is that Yahuah is there. because Elohim will indeed dwell on the earth. Let's come back to 1 Kings 8 and 28.
Yet have you respect unto the prayer of your servant and to his supplication, O Yahuah my Elohim, to hearken unto the cry and unto the prayer which your servant prayed before you today.
And your eyes be open towards what?
This house, night and day.
Night and when?
Night and day.
Towards the what?
The place of which you have said.
My name will what?
Shall be there.
And that you may hearken unto what?
The prayer which your servant shall make toward this place.
Now that Paul, come over here to what it is. 1 John chapter 5. Shalom, Mother's Room. Let me make sure I got you in the right verse. First John chapter 5, man. You can pick it up at verse 10, I suppose.
He that believe on the Son of Elohim have the witness in himself. He that believe not Elohim have made him a liar, because he believed not the record that Elohim gave of his Son.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the record that Elohim had given to us, eternal life. And this life is in his Son.
This life is where?
In his Son.
It certainly ain't in the law, and it ain't in your bloodline either. Go ahead.
He that have the Son have life.
He that have the what?
Have the Son have life.
Now, what did we look at last night, right? How can you believe on him whom you have not heard? And how can you call on him whom you have not believed? And how can you hear without a preacher? See, there ain't no way in the world you got life in you just because you heard some commandment. That ain't how that works. Because what you looked at last night in Exodus chapter 4, they heard of him in Egypt before he gave them the law. Before they could even get to the point of putting blood on the doorpost, they had to hear of him before that. Because how else were they going to put blood on the doorpost if they had never heard of the man before that? Go ahead, man.
He that have the Son have life, and he that have not the Son of Elohim have not life. Mm-hmm. These things have I written unto you that believe on the name of the Son of Elohim, that you may know that you have eternal life, and that you may believe on the name of the Son of Elohim. And this is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us.
If we ask anything according to his what?
His will.
According to his what?
His will.
He do what?
He hears us.
Pause. Now there's an example of that, right? He said, if you ask anything according to his what?
His will.
He'll do what?
Hear us.
So you think just because you ask this man or son, if it's not according to his will he answer it? Well, where's your example of that in the text? See, with son 2, I was telling tried to did morning too, and he was just in regard, and we probably look at it this afternoon. It's based on what I told you last night. It's a lot of people, they want a lot of things, but you're not invested. See, he was just talking about how people believe, oh, if you keep laws, you'll get the spirit. Oh, no, you got to be invested. See, the only way you can invest in Yahuah is through faith. That's the only way you're going to get the Ruach, and most people are not invested. And you know the way that he gets you invested? Because the text tell you through much tribulation, you must enter into the kingdom of Elohim. That's how your faith get tested for you to be invested. See, you can't get invested with things comfortable because then you ain't got to do nothing. And see, when you're on a level of comfortability, that means that you're not challenged to grow. You know what I'm saying? See, a nigga was talking about this the other day, and I agreed with him. There's a difference between changing and growing. Most people try to change people. But see, you can't change nobody. You know why? Because whoever it is that you are intrinsically, it's going to come out. Because you'll start getting tired of being something that you know that you're not. You know what I'm saying? See, if a woman is a whore, she can pretend not to be a whore for a time. But that whore stuff goes to itching. You know what I'm talking about? Because you mainly hear this mostly from women more than men. I don't feel like I can be myself. Because you're stifling yourself because you're trying to change to be something that this person wants because that is not who you really are. See, I don't want you to change. I want you to be who you are. You know what I'm talking about? Now, when you, over time, when you grow, you begin to move and elevate into different attributes and character traits that have nothing to do with changing. It has something to do with elevating. You understand? So that's why when you turn around and you look at why you go through tribulation, it's for the purpose of growth. Because he said you got to take root downward to bear fruit upward. And see, most people don't want to do that. That's why they like comfortable. Because comfortable, you don't have to grow when you're comfortable. That's why he say if you suffer with him, then you'll reign with him. You know what I'm talking about? Because the growth to becoming a son of God is forged through sufferings. Remember, we read it last night in Hebrews 5. It said the captain of your salvation was made perfect through sufferings. You know what I'm talking about? That is where the investment come in at. You know what I'm talking about? See, if you're not willing to suffer, that means you're not willing to make the investment because you really don't believe the word that he's not going to give you nothing. He ain't going to give you nothing. Indeed, dear, said Gideon. Said Moses asked him to someone else, and he didn't do it as his will. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? When Yahuah was getting ready to be killed, what he asked for? He said, but not according to my will, but your will be done. Because what he was required, because remember, we read in John 11, that man say, I know you hear me always, and everything I ask you for, you give it to me. Because this was according to his will. This request was not. So I'm mentioning that because we'll get in our brain that because you petition this man for something, that he ought to do it. Because you're not considering, is this according to his will, but because you think your will should supersede his. And you ain't going to get nothing. And that's just the wrong attitude to have. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that as a disparaging term. I'm talking about how the mindset, how you even get taught how to look at this man. You know what I'm talking about? You think this man a genie in a bottle. Well, I've been keeping your commandments. You ought to give it to me. But what if what you asking for does not support his vision, meaning his will, his plan? He just supposed to give it to you because you want it? Well, that's indicative of your selfishness and pride in reality, and actuality, your lack of faith and trust in him, because now you're going to fall out and not fool with him because you ain't get what you wanted. Remember, I told you, boy, Trick Daddy said it in the record a long time ago. That nigga say, what, if I ain't got it, I ain't your dog no more? He say, well, if that's the case, I ain't got it then. You know what I'm saying? So if Yahuah don't do it, he ain't your God no more? Then he'll be like, well, if that's the case, I ain't your God then. Go on about your business. The only time that we'll have that type of attitude is because you're not invested. Like I said, the brother just telling me, he was talking to him about, man, why did people say, hey, man, why people ain't got the spirit, this, that, there, and the third. And they say, oh, you get it from the law. And they were like, that's not in the text. You realize anything in life, man, you got to be invested. And that most people walk away from things and stop doing things because they're not invested. Most people don't train continually in the gym because they're not invested. Now, most people ain't never did business with people for real. But if you don't ever enter, some people tell you, well, I need you to have skin in the game. Because if you're not invested, then you don't have the motivation to do nothing because there's no loss for you. So you don't care if something fall apart when you're not invested. You don't care if the outcome is good or bad if you're not invested. So you don't care if the kingdom of Elohim come if you have not invested yourself. Shalom, Brother Ella. What is the thing that the man asked you to do? Get it for him. Luke 9:23. This is the first aspect of where you look at the way you got to be invested.
And he said to all, if any will come after me,
let him do what?
Deny himself.
And take up his what?
His cross daily.
Take up his what?
Cross daily.
This is the first thing he asking you to do to invest. He ain't tell you about keeping no laws. Read it again.
If any will come after me, let him deny himself.
Let him what?
Let him deny himself.
Let him what?
Let him deny himself.
And do what?
Take up his cross daily and follow me.
So this is how you invest. Now, Quran just mentioned what we're going to next. Luke 14:26, because, you know, we don't need no reason to go around there. What you talking about? You got teeth in there? You got teeth in there? You got teeth in there? Because, see, I was telling Trav this morning too, man, about this particular passage. When the lady on Clubhouse, she wasn't being, like, I guess, for lack of a better feminist or nothing, she was asking a genuine question. Why it don't say anybody, if any come unto me, forsake your husband? I think I mentioned, because why would Yahuah tell a woman to forsake her husband? That goes against his principles and standards. He's not going to ask a woman to do that. He's not going to ask a child to do that. Forsake your parents. When he gave the woman the construction that her desire to be to your husband and to honor your father and mother, why would he tell children and wives to do that? That goes against the very thing that he stands for. He's not going to do that. But as a man, because what does the text say? Give me 1 Corinthians 11. Because that's where the lady got upset talking about a partnership. There is no partnership. When you have a partnership, that means you're equal in power and authority. Even when it comes with the father and the son, they're not equal in power and authority. You should know that because your law tell you that. Remember what Pharaoh told Joseph? Only in throne and power am I greater than you. That means they weren't partners. You know what I'm talking about? He had power and authority, Joseph did, but they weren't partners because Joseph got to answer to Pharaoh. But Pharaoh ain't got to answer to nobody. But then when you turn around and you look at Mashiach saying, hey, my father is greater than I. Mashiach don't answer to you, but he answered to his God. His God don't answer to nobody. You know what I'm saying? When you partners, you got to answer to somebody. When you the dominant individual, you don't answer to nobody. But see, a man got somebody to answer to. 1 Corinthians 11:1.
Be you followers of me, even as I also am of Mashiach.
Mm-hmm.
Now I praise you, brethren, that you remember me in all things and keep the ordinances as I delivered to you. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Mashiach.
The head of every man is who?
Mashiach.
The head of every man is who?
Mashiach.
And go ahead.
And the head of every woman, the man.
And the head of Mashiach?
Elohim.
See that? See, everybody the woman got to answer to the man got to answer to the Lord, and the Lord answered to his father. The father don't answer to nobody. That's not a partnership. And Quran just made a good point. What's in 1 Corinthians 7 that Elohim don't even tell the unbelieving woman to forsake her husband. You know what I'm talking about? He don't even tell her to do that. You know, or more should say, the believing woman should forsake her unbelieving husband. He don't even tell her to do that because that goes against what he stands for. So he's not going to do that. We take a lot of stuff and you look at it with a modern twist and a modern thought process, and you think that that's how he operates. That man don't operate like that. He's not going to tell you to do that. Because he's not going to tell anybody who teaches word to go tell a woman, leave your husband. So why would he do it? But you got dudes who preach the word that tell people do that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, he's not doing that. Come on back to where you was at.
Luke 14.
Luke 14:26. Listen to it. Capped out.
If any come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple.
That's why he say that there, because Mashiach is your head. Can't nobody come before him. Not yourself, not your kids, not your wife, not your parents, not your siblings. Nobody. Absolutely no one. You know what I'm talking about? That's why I mentioned what I mentioned last night, man. When you compromise your manhood, you'll compromise godliness. Because you only compromise your manhood and godliness for the purpose of pleasing other people. And then they'll make you believe that you doing that is you being a real man because you got to serve your family and this, that, there, and the third, but you compromise on honor and principles to do it. So you're really not a real man. You a puppet with a hand up your butt. You know what I'm talking about? Being manipulated by people for their own selfish means and motivation. Because if you going to come to Yahuah, can't nobody come before him. Not a soul. You know what I'm talking about? It can't happen. It can't happen. Because the man, remember what the man told you, you can't serve what? You can't serve two masters. Because you're going to love one and you're going to hate the other. You're going to cleave to one, you're going to despise the other. You can't do it. Because if you put your woman before God, you're going to love your woman more than you love God. He already told you that in the book of Nehemiah. That's how Samson got in trouble. Because Solomon, because he put the women before Yahuah. But see, the women got him. You notice when they got him, right? What time period of his life did they get him? You know why they got him when you're old? Your testosterone ain't as strong when you're old. You know what I'm talking about? Your manhood hormone, your fortitude to stand as a man ain't the same when you're old. That testosterone get to lowering, you get to letting a lot of stuff slide. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have the fortitude and aggression to resist. You know what I'm talking about? That's why you sit back and you hear women, I keep my man drained. He ain't gonna keep me drained because I don't need to have sex every day. You know what I'm talking about? Because I don't need to give away my testosterone like that. Not like that. I ain't gonna lie to you. I believe this then at the time. One of the reasons why I believe I was able to stay lean and put on so much muscle so quickly when I got out of prison, because the niggas was not giving away their testosterone. You know what I'm saying? And I was able to eat, sleep, you know what I'm talking about? The right amount of hours, and you're not giving up no testosterone, boy, put slabs of muscles on quickly. You know what I'm talking about? Quickly. I'm talking about quickly. I believe the only reason why I began to put on fat is when I started Ubering, because my sleep got off. Now I'm staying up till 4 o'clock in the morning. See, when you don't get no sleep, you don't want to slow on, brother. When you don't get no sleep, that's why I shared that the other day, because I know that without Doc Rotten, your body produces growth hormone and testosterone when you asleep. See, most people don't know this from training. I learned this early. Muscle is not built in the gym. It's built in the bed. You know what I'm talking about? When you go to sleep, that's when your muscles repair themselves and grow. That's when your pituitary gland releases the testosterone and the human growth hormone to grow. Why do you think babies sleep so much? They sleep like that because that gives them a chance for the HGH to degenerate so they can grow. You know what I'm talking about? So when you're not getting proper rest, that junk throw off your testosterone. When your testosterone is thrown, God bless Brother Lane. When your testosterone is thrown off, you can't burn fat efficiently. You're going to start storing fat because your body is not producing testosterone like it needs to. That's why you got to take your black behind to sleep. And just like the book tells you, it's a vain thing to stay up late and rise up early. If you were going to get up early, and what the point you staying up all night for? You should have took your black behind to sleep. You know what I'm talking about? Let me find that word for you. Come over here to the book of Proverbs. You sat down too soon. That don't mess you up now. That don't mess you up now, boy. You need to go. It's Psalms, my bad. Psalms 127. Psalms 127 and 1. Yeah, boy, you gotta take your behind to sleep, boy. Well, I go to sleep, boy. You understand me? You playing games? Well, I'm going to bed. You know what I'm talking about? Sit up all night for what? Nigga, I'd be upset something wake me up in the middle of the night. Now I can't go back to sleep. My whole junk throw off. But boy, I get up probably by. I might open my eye the first time at 5:30. If I don't get up at 5:30, it's 6:30. You know what I'm talking about? Well, I'm not finna be sitting up all night with you. Just to be sitting up. I don't know how nigga do it. Nigga stay up all at this age, you up all night, you ain't getting no money. Boy, I'm going to bed, boy. Pump what you talking about. You know what I'm talking about? I'm going to bed. No. Psalm 127:1. Listen to it.
Except Yahuah build the house, they labor in vain that build it.
See, that's the other thing, Paul. Give me Hebrew 8:1, man. That's what a lot of people problem is. Yahuah ain't building your house. That's why everything you're doing is for nothing, because you're doing it off your own will and volition. That's why it wasn't no vain thing for Solomon. Yahuah built that house, but we want a better house. That man's hands ain't touched. Muffineer, you acting stink. Go ahead, man. Hebrew 8:1.
Now the things which we have spoken, this is the sum. We have such a high priest who is set on the right hand of the throne of the majesty in Shamahim, a minister of the sanctuary and of the true tabernacle, which the Lord pitched and not man.
Who pitched it?
The Lord.
And not who?
Not man.
So, okay. So that's why we want this house that built by Yahuah. We don't want one built by man. Come back to Psalm 127. So I'm going to tell you too, man, because y'all getting to that point. I'm telling you, boy, your testosterone starts slowing down probably about your early to mid 20s. You know what I'm saying? By the time you hit your 30s, he's finna start hitting a precipitous decline. You know what I'm talking about? By the time you hit your mid 30s, okay, you know what I'm saying? Because see, that's why you see them boys when they be taking steroids. That's why they grow titties and they nut shrink. Because when you taking that synthetic, because you understand, when you taking synthetic testosterone, your body's saying we got enough of it, so it stops making it. You know what I'm talking about? So since your body stops making it, if you get off the steroids, man, I've been telling you that, man, if you take steroids, man, steroids turns women into men and men into women. You know what I'm talking about? That's what it do. And that junk can mess up your heart. Nigga have heart attacks and all that junk, man. All it is synthetic testosterone.
They told us that in health class in middle school.
You know what I'm talking about? See, when you see bodybuilders, how lean they is, it is very difficult to stay that lean year round, especially if you're not on steroids. Like how lean The Rock is, it's quite evident with the vascularity this man has. That man is on something. I won't say it's steroids, but at that age, it is very difficult to stay that lean. No, normal leanness for a man is 10 to 15% body fat. You know what I'm talking about? When you talking about single digit body fat, you got to be extremely disciplined to be natural. You know what I'm talking about? And very few people can do that. And truth be told, from what I've heard from you who are that lean, it is very uncomfortable to be that lean. You're very tired, you're hungry, and you're irritable. You know what I'm talking about? Because your body needs fat, contrary to popular belief. You know, women's supposed to be somewhere like 25 and 30. Like he made y'all to have body fat. You know what I'm saying? Nobody want to bust up against no woman. She hard as him. Like straight up now. At that point, you might as well be with a man. If your body hard as mine, what's the point?
Some people are taking it out.
Quran said he'll be 37 next month. Y'all Willing been building 20 years, and he definitely feel like I've gone over my physical peak these last couple of years. Yeah. Now I was finna mention that. Sean mentioned that a lot of brothers take TRT, which is testosterone replacement therapy, or HGH, because that's what makes a man stay lean. That's why when you see a lot of celebrities, you be like, dang, he was small when he was young, and now when nigga get older, nigga a little plump, that testosterone don't slow down. Because you know a lot of dudes like to get on the internet and say women hit the wall. Well, men hit it too. You know what I'm saying? You just like to look at it because you got some money. That didn't make up for the fact that you look at Martin. That nigga is bad by it. That nigga fat. That nigga was not big like that in his youth. Man, you get a little bit of money, man, you don't get proper rest, and your testosterone slowing down. That's why you see nigga get old, nigga get a belly. Yeah, that junk slow down, man. You gotta realize that junk, well, the older you get, the harder it is to get that junk up off you. You know what I'm talking about? See, for women, it's different. Like your metabolism slow down, but with a man, your metabolism slow down and your testosterone going down. You know what I'm saying? Now you so gotta make sure you. That's why the boy be online talking about semen retention. So they gotta retain it. Man, I just seen the clip of a lady say men ain't do nothing, supposed to give seed and work, and let the women do whatever they want to do. Somebody ought to kick that hoe in the head. I done seen that whole talk. I ain't see that part of her conversation. Get what? I would say 60 to 75% of women in America believe everything she just said. All I need you for is rod and money. After that, leave me alone. Don't question me. Give me what I want and let me rule and dominate over you. A lot of them is for that monkey. Say a man's supposed to be a slave. Just tell the slave eat nuts. Yeah, boy, you got to take your behind to sleep, though, boy. Older you get. Keep on going, man. Psalm 127. Nigga, damn fool.
Except Yahuah build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except Yahuah keep the city, the watchmen wait, but in vain.
He said it is what?
Vain for you to rise up early.
To do what?
Sit up late.
To sit up what?
To sit up late.
What's the purpose if you got up early in the morning, you stayed up all night? Now you finna turn right back around and get up early again. You was a damn fool. You should have went to bed.
To eat the bread of sorrows, so he give his beloved sleep.
Now we done talk about that. Yahuah ate the bread of sorrows, and he gave his beloved sleep, because this is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased. Now, see, I was talking, somebody was asking that point, what I mentioned to y'all the other day about to be fruitful and multiply. And I was telling them, look what the man say. He say children are what?
An heritage of Yahuah.
And heritage means what? That's the inheritance. Yeah. Children are an inheritance of Yahuah. That means he take them. They belong to him. That's the next thing he said. And the what?
Fruit of the womb
is what?
His reward.
See, I was trying to tell them that's why they want people don't understand, right? And that goes in the aspect. Oh, he said the funny thing, Quran say he can't even sleep that much. Well, I'm gone. And just in case, you know what I'm talking about? Because I be lifting weight, tearing my muscles up, I buy a bottle of muscle recovery melatonin dummies every night and make sure that I get a good quality 7 hours of sleep. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's how you gain muscle mass and burn fat, boy. I need quality sleep. I know it works. I know it works. I did it. I'm talking about 2012, 13. I'm talking about slabs. And I went to sleep every night, 11 o'clock, 10:30. You know what I'm talking about? And I ain't getting up till about 7. You know what I'm talking about? And I had the ability to take a good nap in the middle of the day. You know what I'm talking about? Get another good hour in. I'm talking about right after leaving the gym. You know what I'm saying? Leah was still a baby then. You come on, we taking a nap together. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't work, boy. You get your good, boy, you keep your diet clean, train hard, get your good 7-8 hours of sleep every night. Boy, you'll put on slab. Boy, you'll come out here looking like Ronnie Coleman, boy. I'm trying to tell you. You trying to lift weights and sleep 3-4 hours? Ain't gonna work. Ain't gonna work. I don't care how much you lift. I don't care how clean you eat. Boy, you gotta take your butt to bed. I've been telling you that for years. Boy, you gotta go to bed. That's where you get the muscle at. That's where you get lean at. You can do all the cardio in the world, nigga. You go to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning, turn around, get back up at 8:30. You ain't gonna lose no weight. And at this day and time, boy, if you ain't sitting up plotting on some money, you just sitting up watching TV. You could have went to bed. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, if you ain't up getting no money, man, what the hell you up for? If you ain't up hunting, what you up for? What the purpose be up all night and you ain't getting no money and you ain't hunting? What you up for? Oh, let's watch this TV show till 2 in the morning. I'm gonna holler at you. I'm going to bed. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't no TV show I want to look at to stay up no too long. And I know I got to get up. I'm finna sit up and look at TV with you. You're going to be mad with me. I'm going to be in the bed. You know what I'm talking about? I'm going to sleep. I'm old, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Y'all still relatively young. Y'all might can pull that off. I can't pull that off no more. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, boy, in my 20s, I could pull that off. I could stay up all night. You know what I'm talking about? Get right back up early, ain't do nothing, and on weed the whole time. I can't do that no more. I'm old. I ain't young no more. I can't be doing that. My body can't take it. I got to go to bed. You know what I'm talking about? And I work too hard. We had an easy one the other day, boy. What specific note, because he done been, well, nigga don't be knowing, boy, what nigga be doing, boy. You ever took some dead concrete off a wall? Boy, that junk ain't no joke, boy. That time I'm talking about, some of y'all ain't never been in them houses, man. You see that old tile in your grandma them house, but that old tile is affixed to concrete, which is affixed to some mesh. Nigga, that junk hell. You understand me? With a hammer. Not a regular hammer, neither. This nigga around here bringing plants. Call her the plant lady. She got a green thumb. Call Shalom, brother Howard. Call her Botanical Leaf. Lee probably driving the car with Cal. Shalom, Sister Gabriel. Guy real, I'm sorry.
Hey, drop no soul.
Like this here, she drive with Cal. Probably drive with more safety with the plants than with the church.
I can't see the church. I can see
I'm sorry, mispronouncing your name. I was tripping. I couldn't get my joke out. Shalom, Eve, man. Yeah, man, go to sleep, man. You know what I'm saying? It's good for your body. Y'all will find out when you start creeping toward 40, you'll be like this here. You ought to go to bed. You know what I'm saying? But especially if you get up early in the morning. But you know what I'm saying? Well, I get up 5:30 in the morning, 5 to 6 days a week. Boy, I'm going to bed. Today, the only day I sleep, and sleeping till 9 o'clock is not a feat. You know what I'm talking about? I can't sleep all day.
That's funny.
I can't just sit here and lay in the bed sleep. I got to be tired.
You get older, you be able to sleep longer.
No, man. Because I'm supposed to.
Like naturally, like.
No, because I got to do something. I need to be woke. My body telling me what your lazy behind doing in the bed for. Get your behind up, nigga. Because they used to it.
But older, you sleep at 8:30 soon.
They do go to sleep at 8:30. Now, this is the thing, right? Now, I will say this here, though. And I know several people who do it. You know what I'm saying? They get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And they get up that early. But see, to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you got to go to bed. You know what I'm talking about? You got to go to bed. You got to go to bed 8:30, 9 o'clock. 9:30 at the latest. You know what I'm saying? But they say they do that for number one, so that Mother Sharona says she rides with the sun. She's 61. You know what I'm talking about? But see, the thing, what it is, that for you to do that, some people say they do that so they can pray with nobody bothering them, so they can handle work with nobody bothering them. It's unfortunate that we live in a society that have a nigga so scrambling that you got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go work out so you can fit that into your day. But niggas do that junk, so by the time they start interacting with other people, that the main key things that they will need to have done is already done. You know what I'm saying? And after that, I'm going to bed. Cause yeah, you getting up 4 o'clock in the morning, boy. You going to bed 9 o'clock, boy.
I'm gonna get up 2:30.
You know what I'm talking about? Ain't no staying up all night. Talking about let's go out. They need talking about. They say a date. Shoot, we better be going on that date at 5 o'clock. Cause I got 3 more hours. No, none of that. I catch sports in bed. But a lot of the people who get up, who do that, they got way more money than everybody in here put together. You know what I'm talking about? I take a different level of dedication to get up that early, especially if you ain't got no job. You know what I'm saying? That you doing that out of your own drive and discipline. That take a little. Everybody ain't got that in them. You know what I'm talking about? Because you got to go to bed. And a lot of people don't want to go to bed at 8 o'clock. Don't want to go to bed at 8:30. Don't want to go to bed at 9. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning every day, yeah, you got to do it. But if you do it for 30 days straight, you change that habit now. Come on, Sid, where you at?
You done with Psalms 127? Right?
Yeah, we good. I see you back there, big head boy. Where you was at for that?
I think everything else was done with.
Nah.
Read the Hebrews 8.
14.
Read the Luke 14.
Nah, we ain't doing it in Luke 14. I ain't even said nothing. That's where you need to be at. You thought you were done. You just read verse 26, thought it was over. See what happened? You done assumed. Now you got to get exhumed. Luke 14:26, one more time.
If any come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, in his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. Mm-hmm. Whosoever do not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple.
Notice it. We looking at these things. This is what you got to do to make the investment. You got to bear your stake, which we read in Luke 9, and you got to be willing to forsake everybody in your life. That's the investment you got to make. Because he got to make sure that you down for the cause. Read 26 again, man. You got to understand this investment got to be made.
If any come to me and hate not his father and mother,
he
wife,
said, if you come to him, you got to do what?
Hate not his father, mother, wife, children, brethren, sisters,
yea, in his own what?
Life also.
So you can't put you before him either. See, I mentioned it. See, I want to focus on the last part. Don't get caught up on the part when he said your wife and your kids and your family. He said you too. That's the investment you got to make. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 1. Bird, what you back there doing, Bird? You need a jacket. You cold? That's unfortunate. 1 Peter 4:1. I mentioned it that night. Let's look at it and get it right.
For as much then as Mashiach have suffered for us in the flesh,
let us what?
Arm yourselves likewise with the same mind.
Now pause, right? He suffered in the flesh. This is the investment that he's willing to make. He was willing to make this investment. He said it was needful that I must die. Ain't that what he told him? That's when we were reading in that Psalms 40 when he said, you brought me out of the miry clay, out of the pit. Burnt offering and sin offering you didn't require, but a body you prepared for me. This was the investment that he was willing to make, which was sacrifice. See, if you're not willing to make an investment, then you're not going to get nothing because you ain't did nothing. Remember I mentioned to you like what he said, what the nigga put in the post, like Gucci, the Rothschild, the Patels, they families have to work in the company. See, niggas got this idea that you're supposed to create a company and leave it to your kids. You know what I'm saying? See, the crackers put their children to work. I'm not going to let you run my company and you worked in it. You know what I'm saying? Donald Trump Jr. had to work for his dad to get the position, whatever the name of his daughter is. They had to work in it. That's why he was able to take him and say, y'all can come in the White House with me. Like I told you, boy, Stephanie McMahon was a model in WWE magazine before she got to be CEO of that company, man. Shalom, Brother Shaul. She had to work in the company. And he didn't just give her no great job position. He made her work at the bottom. Nigga Shane was working in the warehouse. Can you imagine your daddy owned the company and you working in the warehouse? The average entitled person thinking I ought to be doing this, that, there, and the third. How the hell I know you're going to be dedicated to what I created if your stinking behind ain't going to work in it? It's going to have to. Because if you ain't going to be willing to work in the warehouse, nigga, I did it.
How you going to know how to run?
How the hell you think I got to here? Nigga, I was down here and did that. Your funky behind going to have to do it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're supposed to make people do that. You got something, boy, you got to work in it. How I'm gonna let you run it? You don't want to. How you want to run something, but you don't want to work in it? You understand what type of bad mentality that is? You want to run something, but you don't want to work in it. No. Yahuah operate the same way.
Skip steps.
You trying to skip steps. You want the power and you want the resources, but you don't want the labor, you don't want the pain, and you don't want the responsibility. That's not how that works. That's why a lot of brews don't get no spirit, because you ain't invested nothing. All you talk about is we Israel and we keep the law. But when it come down to what you got to pay, you don't want to pay it. Come on, where I got you?
1 Peter 4.
1 Peter 4 from the top. One more time.
For as much then as Mashiach have suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind.
He that
suffered in the flesh,
ceased from
sin,
that he should no longer
lived the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men,
but to the what?
Will of Elohim.
That's the only way you're going to be able to live to his will. You're going to have to invest. And you're going to have to invest by suffering in the flesh. See, that's why a lot of people, right? A lot of people want to own a business, but they don't want to invest in it. And when I'm talking about invest in it, I ain't got no money. I'm talking about time, sweat, equity. You know what I'm talking about? The losses, everything that go along with that. You let niggas on the internet in the world tell you, oh, you own the business, man, you have crime freedom, you'll be rich. Them niggas lying to you. Because that ain't reality. Man, you know how long it take to build a profitable business? A long time. You know how long, unless you are skilled in that area, you got the money to pay somebody to do it. You know how long it take to scale yourself up out of a business that you ain't got to be there every day? And you know what the sad part is that everybody in America got an opinion on something that they've never even attempted to do. You know what I'm talking about? It ain't even a point if you've done it or tried it. A lot of niggas never even attempted to do it and trying to tell people who doing it how it should be done. How the hell do you know? You don't even have the heart to take the risk. But you telling me what I should be doing. Well, you get your funky behind around here and manage these niggas, man. You know what it's like to hire a nigga and a nigga don't know what the hell he doing? Not even know what the hell he doing. He don't want to do it properly. He want to take a shortcut. You told him exactly what to do and he did what he wanted to do. Now your face messed up with these customers because they don't give a damn about Buddy over here. I didn't hire him and talk to him. I talked to you. Now your face bad. Now you got to kind of bounce back from a bad review. You know how many people I know who've been in business and say that the most difficult thing that they ever encountered was hiring solid employees? And I ain't even talking about nobody at the level none of us doing business at, because we ain't doing no business at no high. We're not at a major league level. I'm talking about people who are at a major league level. They said that's the most difficult thing that they encounter. You know why? Because most people is lazy and sorry as hell. And they want a whole lot of something for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody believe that they here. Well, goddamn it, your mama and your daddy lied to you. You ain't special, nigga. You not that great. You don't do nothing. Do you understand if special was regular, then it wouldn't be special? That's why he say greater is he that is in you than he that's in the world. Because see, if God is in you, then you special. See, you being an Israelite don't make you special. You got to have something in you to be special. Because that means that differentiates you from everybody else. Get it for him, man. 1 Peter 4. 1 John 4 and 4. What's up, little Bible study? You ain't got nothing for me? What's wrong with you? You ain't got nothing for me? But you ain't got nothing for me? Man, that messed up, man.
No.
No. He's sitting there like an old man. I ain't do it to you, cuz. Come on, man.
You are of Elohim, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than in the world.
Greater is he that is what?
In you
than he that is in the what?
In the world.
That's what's special. Remember what your law say, that you'll be a peculiar treasure above all people. He said, if you keep my covenant, that's what your law said. You're not a peculiar treasure because you were bruised. You're a peculiar treasure because you hold his covenant. Well, if you hold the new covenant, that means the Ruach in you, and that is what makes you special. Quran said, I can see that point from my experience managing men on a building site. You got more bad gangs of men than good. Oh yeah, you got bad workers way more than you got good ones. You know what I'm saying? But special, and I get it, because them your children, they special to you. But when you push them out there in the world don't mean nothing to the world. Who are you? What have you done? What have you accomplished? What is your ability? You're not special to the world. The world, you got to prove yourself. And when we tell our children how special and how great they are, they go out in the world with that attitude to people who they're not special to. And then they're shocked when that doesn't get reciprocated back to them. You know what I'm saying? One thing I don't know that I see, because the white boy, I told you about the white boys say this all the time, right? It's a lot of stuff that like men will do for their daughters that no man is ever gonna do for them. And that'll skew their viewpoint of how they view men when they get older, because no man, and the reason being is because you're my daughter. So because you're my daughter, I have a different viewpoint of you than the world is gonna have for you. It's the same way how some women do their sons. There ain't no woman finna look at your son like you look at him. They not. So when they go out there in the world, they gonna be shocked, like, why is ain't nobody doing X, Y, Z? You hear dudes say, I raised the standard high. Well, your daughter's gonna be alone, because no man is gonna do that. No man who she gonna respect. Do you know what I'm talking about? And if you do everything for your son, you done mothered him, what's the first thing these women gonna say? I ain't your mama. Well, that's how you done made it. So that's what he looking for. But guess what? Ain't nobody finna do that. So he's not even properly prepared. Because I promise to you, ain't no man or woman gonna do nothing for your child that you would have done. They don't have the kinship and bond with your child that you do, because that's your child. They don't see your daughter or your son like you see them. You know why? Because the interaction is different. They gotta be with them. They gonna be laying with them. Why would they view them like you view them? They don't have that bond with them. They don't have it. I ain't never looked at everybody different. I ain't never looked at no woman and be like, I want her to do this for me like my mama did. I know this woman's not my mama. She didn't birth me. I'm not having an expectation of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not having how many you heard to do, or if you said it yourself, I want a woman to love me like my mama loved me. I never said that in my entire life. I know a lot of men who believe that, though, that desire that, or feel like that a woman should do that. But why should she? My wife not gonna love me like my mama loved me. How could she? She don't got that bond with me. I'm not of her flesh. She didn't carry me for 9 months. My mama didn't breastfeed me, but nevertheless, you know what I'm talking about? It's different. The way you look at your daughter and she your special princess, a nigga on the street don't look at your daughter like that. You know why? Because your daughter ain't gonna interact with him like she interact with you. See, Joanne, she gonna have to earn everything she get. You know what I'm talking about? Because I can't send her out here to be somebody's husband expecting this man to do this here because my daddy did it. My daddy did it. So you ought to do it too. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna do it. Go find your daddy. You know what I'm talking about? Then she come back to me and be like, well, daddy, they say come find you. Now see, I done messed up. You know what I'm saying? That's why I put that thing. And Carlos said they looking for a unicorn nigga. Nigga who 6, long penis, write poetry. You know what I'm talking about? Live weights, a killer, got 4 houses, a summer house in Italy. This nigga don't exist. Then they had to run back Kevin Samuels behind that boy. Well, I thought about you when I seen that clip, because he the last nigga sent it to me. That nigga say, how old tall you is? She say 5'8". Say, how much you weigh? She say 220. That nigga say, you big as Emmitt Smith. That nigga say, you can hit the A gap like when you coming out the I formation. I said, what that nigga that hard, boy? He tried to clean it up. I'm just being silly. Nah, you were ranking. You know what you were doing. You slid it in there decent. But that's my point on the specialness. Cause I get if she go find her daddy tell her how beautiful she is, how great she is. You know what I'm talking about? Her daddy ain't gonna tell her she built like Emmitt Smith. Her daddy ain't gonna tell her you can hit the A gap like a mother sucker. He ain't gonna tell her that. He gonna tell her they ought to love you are, baby. You're great. You're beautiful as you is. You go out in the world, this nigga like, man, this nigga look like a middle linebacker.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Now I'm just talking about the difference. Cause you think any of y'all daddy will look you in the face and say you look like you built like a middle linebacker? Damn. Yeah, honest man. But ain't many men gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? So if your daddy telling you how beautiful you are and how perfect you are, when you go out in the world and the world tell you something different, that throws you off. Because when you come home, they telling you you're the most beautiful woman in the world. You go on the street, they telling you look like Lizzo. Ugh. That's why these fat hoes be coming out the door half naked. Because one thing I know about women, y'all will lie to each other. Y'all will let that woman come out the door with them hot shows, man. She looking like look like a busted can of Pillsbury biscuits. And you'll tell her how good she look. You look fantastic, girl. She come out there with that doggone Planet of the Apes lacy one on. You don't tell her she don't look good with that junk. She got them semen catchers on her eyeballs. You don't say nothing. Alicia say Ernest did. I don't know who Ernest is. Who Ernest is? Oh, her mama. Oh, still. Yeah, man. You know, damn. Oh, you know, men to be honest with it, tell you, nigga, you ugly. They be like, well, you got some little pants on, boy. They're hugging your nuts. See, y'all a lie. See, y'all will talk about how great she look in the outfit, then walk off later and talk about how bad she look in it. That's what women do. I ain't saying y'all do it. Y'all might do it. I don't know what you do. I don't be in your conversation. You know what I'm talking about? But I know in general, y'all lie to each other. You know what I'm saying? See, a nigga crack a joke and tell the truth. He ain't trying to hurt your feelings. But y'all lie to each other. That hair look great. No, it don't. Some of y'all done had a friend put on makeup. She look like she in a casket. You ain't say nothing. Ernie look like he'll tell a nigga about themselves. I ain't gonna say that because he ain't told Karen about himself. That nigga just sit there and take it. For real. You know how serious that got to be for a nigga say, well, I'd rather die than go home? That's an extreme thing to say out your mouth, boy, that I would rather go to the upper room than to go home with you. Not I'd rather go die. That's tough, boy. That's hard, man. Remember I said that joke, I was cracking a joke. She turned around and said, he said that for real. I was like, well, damn. I know I'm saying it in a funny fashion, but that's serious though, bro. Did you say you felt like that before? Oh, Lord, that's tough. Guess what that line up with? I find more bitter than death. That's hard, man. That's hard, man. Come on, Steve.
They are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world hear them. We are of Elohim. He that know Elohim hear us.
That's right.
He that is not of Elohim hear not us.
That's right.
Hereby know we the Ruach of truth and the Ruach of error.
That's good. Come on back to Luke 14, man. Read me 26 again. Oh, Kalisha said when she got fat, he was like, you got to lose some weight. I know that right. I definitely told you keep on. You got to pack hot dogs on your back. Nigga, we'll have a barbecue. That nigga look like he got some water balloons for you, bro.
For which of you intending to build a tower, sit not down first and count the cost?
I ain't heard 26. That nigga done came back to do what he wanted.
If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. And whosoever do not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of you intending to build a tower, sit not down first and count the cost.
Sit down first and do what?
Count the cost.
Sit down first and do what?
Count the cost.
You got to count the cost if you got sufficient to do what?
To finish.
To finish it. You got to ask yourself, are you willing to invest what's needed to be done? You know how many of y'all done found yourself starting stuff and not finishing? And you know why you started stuff and didn't finish it? Because you didn't count the cost if you had enough to pay before you did it. And that really shows an extreme lack of commitment and discipline on your part. You know what I'm talking about? And also the thought process that you can start stuff and somebody going to come save you from that decision. Instead of having the wherewithal and the commitment to finish what you started. Don't start some junk if you know you don't want to do it. Don't start some junk if you ain't going to be committed to see it to the end. Even if you find out I don't want to do it. If you done started it, nigga, then finish it. You know what I'm talking about? Now, of course, we ain't talking about some stuff if you losing money, because if you losing money, you just go ahead and cut your losses and leave. You know what I'm saying? But if you say, hey, man, I'm going to take this training class, and when I say training class, I ain't necessarily talking about weights. And it say, like, Nell sent me a video, little boy slashed the tires on his daddy car because he ain't go to football practice. He didn't want to go to football practice. And, you know, a lot of people jumped in the comments and was like, what is that? Oh, they probably trying to live through their son. I say that don't always be the case. What it be is people get involved with stuff and then they don't want to do something. See, me personally, a lot of people talking about they would have whooped him. I wouldn't have did none of that. I wouldn't have whooped him. None of that. I'm going to make that nigga change the tire on my car twice. So that means each tire that once he put the tire on, that take the tire back off. And then put the tire back on. You know what I'm saying? No, because then he need to learn to understand what you done. Then I'm going to give this nigga some type of labor that this nigga can do to pay off the cost of said tires. Because he need to understand the value of what he cost me. Because that goes to my point that if you ain't got to pay for something, then you don't understand the value of it. So therefore, you don't respect it. And then thirdly, I'm making this nigga go to practice every single solitary time. And you not quitting till the season over with. You ain't missing a practice. You ain't missing nothing. Because what you're trying to do is get out of work. That's what you're trying to do. See, I'm going to get past all that stuff being emotional. I'm looking at what you're doing. Because if you want to go play in the game, but you don't want to practice, now I'm seeing that you finna develop a bad habit, that you're looking for shortcuts. And as a man, you ain't getting no shortcuts. I'm finna put you to work, and you finna work, and you finna grind. I ain't finna get upset about no damn tires. You know what I'm talking about? Dear said I had to tell my lady that she got to watch that weight just like me. My kid talking about ain't no fat people in the kingdom, mama. Ooh, that's tough. That's hard. That's hard. Yeah, said that's what the girls told Tree. You know what I'm talking about? But all jokes aside, though, man, you have to look at that. Because the little boy filmed himself slashing the tires and then running off laughing. So that tells me you don't value, because guess what? When you don't have to earn something and you get it, you don't respect the value of what took to get it. When your people used to give you money as a child, I think I mentioned this, you didn't respect that money. You went and wasted it. You bought all the candy, all the toys, because you felt like they'd give you some more. And when you ain't had no money and they ain't give you some more, now you mad with them. But the minute you started earning your own money, prayerfully, you started to respect the value of that money because you know what it took for you to get it. See, simps don't care about their money. They just throw it away. Well, I know what I went through to get mine, boy. You're not going to play with me like that. You know what I'm talking about? Like I told you, boy, Civic was with us. Well, we took down 2 sheds in the garage, boy. And one garage, them niggas lucky because niggas wasn't really paying attention. That termites had them been eating up this junk and that wood was weak, Paul. You know what I'm talking about? And when you cut it, that junk was going to fall in a particular. Let me tell you something, man. When you demo in a garage or a shed, bro, if you don't pay attention to what you're doing, you're going to see the Lord. Because when that doggone roof collapse and fall on the top of your head, depending at the rate of speed that it dropped, you're not going to make it. And if you do make it, you're going to wish you didn't. You know what I'm talking about? But see, a lot of people, you don't realize that if you say, hey, man, I'm going to demo a shed or I'm going to demo a garage, you don't really sit back and look at that. It's niggas saying it matter-of-factly, it is dangerous. The only way it ain't dangerous if you're using a Bobcat. You know what I'm saying? Where you can just run and push it over. If you taking a doggone saw and you cutting that hole, you cutting the walls out, and then you cutting the four corners out, well, you do that junk wrong, boy, that roof falling on your head, boy, you out of here. Hell, if you cutting down trees and you don't pay attention to what you doing, a limb falling on your head, boy, you out of here. Nigga want us to demo a shed. The bastard ain't even have enough common courtesy to tell us it was electricity in the damn shed. You know what I'm talking about? So nigga go around, you go to cutting stuff, you don't know it's power in there. You been done hit something, boy, you gone. See, the reason why that junk don't really register with people because you don't really know somebody who done died from it. But it's men that die from that type of work every single solitary day. Hell, y'all remember that time that they said that tree fell down there on them, turning man going towards Callahan? Nigga driving down the road, man, doggone tree fell, smashed their car. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff nigga do, man. That junk dangerous, man. Nigga be out here. At least what we do, that junk dangerous. Some of the stuff with that junk is dangerous. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga demoing houses with power on, you ain't paying attention, you cut the wall out. You know what I'm talking about? Because I be quick, hey man, cut the power off. If we cut anything out of the wall, boy, cut the power off in that room. Hey, when we be at the landfill, these niggas don't be listening. I'm like, bro, why y'all niggas be throwing stuff at the plot when we got to step off the truck at? You know what I'm saying? Nigga don't be thinking about it because it's going to be one day when you try to step up off of them and then you hurt yourself because you ain't had nowhere to step because you ain't thinking about it at the time. Nobody don't think about getting hurt till you get hurt. Shoot, that nigga tell you, I damn sure do. Nigga, we tearing some junk up. This nigga Rico just stepped it. I said, damn, nigga, you don't even look where you stepping. Nigga stepped right on the nail. I said, you ain't even looking where you stepping. You just stepping, huh? No, I stepped on there because we couldn't see them. This nigga stepped on the nail where we had to demo the junk and the junk was still there. Shoot, I just stepped on the nail 3 times in one day. Hell, we was there. You especially if you somewhere where there's roofing nails, you can't see roofing nails, bro. You can't even see them. Them niggas would be dog. You have been done raked up an area you think roofing nails at, and it'd be 4 or 5 of them holes in there. Or niggas sit and tell you, boy, I be watching where I be stepping. I walk light. Cause boy, I don't want to get hurt, boy. That junk sucks. Who you telling? Oh, he said I was a boy. I definitely teach safety. He'll tell you. I be telling niggas all the time. Well, shoot, Rico be about to kill Jimmy every day. Bro, we cutting it up a shed, bro. The nigga is running the saw, and this crazy nigga is trying to use the crowbar to lift up where he cutting. I said, why are you doing that? And right as I said that, the blade broke. Now I say, boy, if that blade would have broken, flipped off, and cut this nigga, it was your fault. And you paying for it. I ain't paying. You ever seen a reciprocating saw blade cut, boy? That junk cutting straight through you, boy. Come on, man. That junk cutting straight through you, bro. Karan, I already know you working in construction, boy. Well, you get hurt quick. Quicker than you think. Come on, what verse?
29.
Verse 29. Matter of fact, we good. Come on back to 1 Kings. What was that for that? You keep it. We was in verse 29, man. You can read. 1 King 8 and 29. I'm talking about, boy, you get hurt quick, boy.
That your eyes may be open toward this house night and day, toward the place of which you have said, my name shall be there, that you may hearken unto the prayer which your servant shall make toward this place. And hearken you to the supplication of your servant and of your people Yasharal, when they shall pray towards this place, and hear you in Shamahim, your dwelling place. And when you hear, forgive. If any man trespass against his neighbor,
I believe it, bro.
And an oath be laid upon him to cause him to swear, an oath come before your altar in this house, then hear you in Shamahim and do, and judge his servants, condemning the wicked, to bring his way upon his head,
justifying
the righteous,
to give to him according
to his righteousness.
He said, when your people,
Yasharal be smitten down before the enemy.
When they be smitten down before the who?
The enemy.
Before the who?
The enemy.
Okay.
Because they have sinned against you.
And they turn again
to you.
And confess
your name and pray.
And do what?
And pray.
No, confess
your name.
And do what?
And pray.
And make what?
Supplication unto you in this house.
Tell them what confess is there, man. I think it's Yada from yesterday. I think it's hey, little baby. You be playing with my baby?
Yeah, this is Yada.
So when you look at that confessing his name, what are you confessing? That's what we were reading with Daniel, right? When you confess in the name of Yahuah, what are you confessing? Get it for him. Exodus 34:7. Exodus 34:7. I just got to put it on there.
Keeping mercy for thousands.
We'll make it 34:6. Hey, little baby.
And Yahuah passed by before him and proclaimed, Yahuah Elohim, merciful and gracious.
Hello. Damn Indian man. That's who I thought it was. I should have told him hello to these minutes. Come on.
And Yahuah passed by before him and proclaimed, Yahuah Elohim,
Merciful,
gracious,
abundant,
long-suffering,
right.
and goodness and truth, keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity, transgression, and sin, and that will by no means clear, visiting iniquity of the fathers upon the children,
to the third,
and upon the children's children, unto the third and to the fourth.
That's good. So then he say you go pray. So once you confess the name, how else can you confess the name of Yahuah? What needs to be done in order for you to confess? You would actually have to hear the word first. Like what we were looking at with Moses them. Like I said, man, if anybody come telling you that your forefathers knew Yahuah in Egypt, they unlearned. You cannot believe on him whom you have not heard. Get it for him, man. Romans 10:14. Hey. You always home. Romans 10:14.
How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed?
How shall they call on him whom they have not what?
Believed.
And how shall they call on?
And how shall they believe in him in whom they have not heard?
So how can you confess his name if you ain't never believed? So the aspect of confession, there has to be a level of faith there first. You can't confess and you can't believe unless you heard. And you can't hear unless somebody preach it to you. And they can't preach except they sent. It's impossible. Faith is the investment. And through that investment, then you're willing to do the thing necessary. How did Abraham become the father of many nations? What is the thing to show you that Abraham was willing to invest? He left his father's house. When that man came and told him, depart from your kindred and go to the place that I shall show you, and that I shall make you the father of many nations. That he had to make an investment to do that. To invest it, Yahuah just didn't make him a father of many nations. He had to do something in order to get that. What is the investment that Noah had to make? He had to build that ark. The only way that he was going to be delivered was for him to build that ark. If he don't build that ark, then no, you're not getting nothing. Praise Yahuah, man. There's no way. There's no way. You have to invest. If you think you're going to get something for merely existing, you are a proud, entitled bastard. It's only one thing you get from simply existing, and that's the righteousness of Yahuah. Psalms 32:1. That's it. This is the only thing that you ain't got to do nothing in order to get it. Psalms 32:1.
Baruch is he whose transgression forgiven, sin is covered. Baruch the man unto whom Yahuah imputed not iniquity, and whose ruach no guile.
Mm-hmm.
When I kept silence, my bones waxed old through my roaring all the day long.
Mm-hmm.
For day and night your hand was heavy upon me. My moisture is turned into the drought of summer. Selah, I acknowledge my sin unto you, and my iniquity have I not hid.
My iniquity have I what?
Not hid.
Go ahead.
I said I will confess my transgressions unto Yahuah.
He said I'll do what?
Confess my transgressions unto Yahuah.
I'll do what?
Confess my transgressions unto Yahuah.
Tell them what confess is being used there. It's probably yada, but we got to make sure every time.
It's yada.
Continue.
And you forgave the iniquity of my sin. Selah, for this shall everyone that is godly pray unto you in a time when you may be found.
Notice that he said that this is what everyone godly will do. They will confess their transgression. But the transgression was forgiven, and you didn't have to do anything. Romans 4:1 just to back that up. You like potato bread too?
What shall we say then that Abraham our father, as pertaining to the flesh, have found? For if Abraham were justified by works, he have to esteem, but not before Elohim.
If he was justified by what?
By works.
Then you have something to brag about. Bird, put this in the track.
For what saith the scripture? Abraham believed Elohim, and it was counted unto him for righteousness. Now to him that work is reward not reckoned of grace, but of debt.
Mm-hmm.
But to him that work not, but believe on him that justify the ungodly, his faith is counted for righteousness.
See, that's the difference. You ain't got to do no work to get them sins forgiven, though. That's strictly Yahuah. But once that good news is brought, then you confess his name and then you walk in the righteous obedience of faith after that. You know what I'm talking about? Because you can't do no work to get your sins forgiven. You know what I'm talking about? No, ain't no work you can do for that. But in order to follow him, you have to be invested. There's something you're going to have to do. Is dead as a bow. You have to actually invest. Abraham was willing to invest Isaac. That's how much he trusted in that man's word. See, a lot of people don't want to invest. See, so most of the time, I don't even need you to invest. If you can't see the vision, just know that I can see it. See, a lot of people problem is, once it's there, then I'll come. You useless. When I say you useless to somebody who bought something, who's desiring to go somewhere. Because if you just want to be there when it's finished, then what the hell would I reward? You ain't done nothing. Why do you want that benefit? Why do you think so many wealthy men don't want to get married? Everybody like to play the line that this nigga said in that record. You wasn't with me shooting in the gym. You didn't put in no work. So what? You know what the crazy part is? That these dudes was in the video. I couldn't even really argue with the logic. You know what I'm talking about? You'll turn around and say that you don't want a man's money, but then divorce him and want his money. You know what I'm talking about? And that only came up because I told you, they say Larsa Pippen getting half of Scottie Pippen's pension. You know how sick that is to know that this woman is playing with the wee-wee of a man who you used to work with, and now she get half your pension to go over there and play with his wee-wee? That's what I'm talking about. She getting half his pension for him to go play with the wee-wee of a nigga son who you to work with. Who going to deal with that? Do you know this bald-headed hoe had the nerve to say she want to have this nigga's baby? This hoe 48 years old. So I want to have his baby. That's disrespectful. Man, I Scottie Pippen, man, I have to make a couple phone calls to the cleaner. That hoe had to go. You know what I'm talking about? We have to rake roof this hoe. That ain't right. And they tell him he got to go back some years to pay her back. ASAP. And if the money ain't in the account, she get the whole account. I don't even see why niggas get married in California. I don't even know why niggas do that. It ain't nowhere in the world. You know what I'm talking about? Get married in California and New York? You got to be smoking crack. I'm not marrying you here. Well, if you marry in California, you's a damn fool. You know what I'm talking about? You's a damn fool. Because, boy, if you got any type of assets, boy, you marry in California, boy, you good as plugged right in your behind with 9 inches of ungreased, boy. Because your booty hole going to be hurting when they leave that courtroom. Them people going to do something to you. You know what I'm talking about? What? That's why a lot of dudes be killing. He got bread. Now, let's not be honest now. 90% of divorces don't end with no alimony whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? It's a common misconception that everybody who get divorced pay alimony. Everybody ain't got no money to be paying no alimony. You know what I'm saying? Most divorces ain't nobody paying nothing. You're just talking about somebody who got something. You know what I'm saying? Or desiring to acquire something. That's tough. Half your pension? I played in the NBA for 15, 16 years. But guess what? You know when he married her? In 1997? You know what I'm saying? Right at the tail end of his career, you damn fool. I was an athlete. I'd never get married. And that's definitely not while I'm playing. Guess what? Derek Jeter ain't never got married. He ain't got any problem. A-Rod ain't never get married neither. There's a reason for it. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell y'all something, man. You know why I saw the athletes who don't get married? Because they already know 99% of the time, that woman only with you because you got some money. Once you retire and now you got to be home, they get divorced right after that because she really don't want to be with you. She only want to be with you for the money. Now she done married you, she got you, she can divorce, get the bread and be gone. Now you ain't playing no more. That bread ain't coming like that. Watch what I tell you. Steph Curry get retired, that woman gone. You know what I'm talking about? That nigga got 60 M's coming. I'll break that whole kneecap. Not no 60. State of California already taking a big bowl leader of that anyway. And see, it don't matter that he ain't married in California. They live in California. I wouldn't live in California. Not married, none of that. You want to live in California, you living there by yourself. I ain't going out there. You won't trick me. Mm-hmm. Not worth that kind of bread. Absolutely not. You see, Donald Trump ain't never lived out there. That nigga been married a few times. He ain't never lived out there, but that junk hurt my feelings. Nigga say they got half. I ain't feel as bad as Jimmy felt when he heard that lady say she ain't know her husband. That junk hurt my feelings. Boy, half your pension. I shed a thug tear for him. You know what I'm saying? I feel bad for Zion just because you're dumb. I feel bad for you because ain't nobody tell you no better. You got two porn stars on your trail, boy. I feel for you. Somebody should have told you about it. I couldn't lay with a woman who had wee-wees for pay. For a living. Your job is to be ramrodded. I'm not having no baby with you. I don't care how. Ain't that much skill in the world, man. See, that's why niggas get got. I know she can do it good. Look at you now. Man, a lot of niggas get got because them niggas lames and square. One thing for certain and two things for sure. Just because a nigga got some money don't mean he a real nigga. Just because he got some money don't mean he a dominant male. Just because he got money don't mean he's solid. A lot of these boys couldn't get no man. Look at him, man. You know what JT Money said. A lot of these boys got their game in their pocket. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of them boys, they ain't had no money, boy. Them boys would be watching, them boys would be having OnlyFans subscriptions beating off. You know what I'm saying? Messing up all their mama good, what you call it, bed clothes. Playing penis in the puppet, all that stuff in the house. You see how hard that nigga with cheese is standing with this prostitute? That nigga was happy he put a baby in this woman's polluted womb. That's unsafe, man. Where you at?
Romans 4.
That's good. You can come on back, man. Come on back to Daniel 9, because we talking about confessing and praying, and that's exactly what. We'll read verse 34. That's exactly what Daniel did. That joint sad, bro. You boy be going out tough, man. That's why I be telling y'all what I be telling you. Boy, you got churn, man. You better say your churn, that nigga don't be no damn fool. Man, this nigga paying this whole $100,000 a month. Man, I'm not paying no woman on earth $100,000 a month. For what? She better be doing $100,000 worth of labor. That nigga was paying that woman $100,000. That is $1.2 million a year to be a scallywag.
That's what Zion was paying her.
That's what that nigga was paying that woman. 100 racks a month. If I'm paying you 100 racks a month, you got to be generating $300,000 to $400,000 a month for me to give you $100,000 a month. That's absolutely insane. I don't care how you get it. But you understand how serious that is to get somebody $100,000 a month, bro?
He ain't even been playing.
That nigga ain't been pimping. That nigga been tricking. I ain't saying that to be funny, bro. That's $1.2 million a year. As a man, why are you giving anybody $1.2 million a year and they don't observe no foreseeable value or benefit to your life? Because they're there? That's stupid. That mean that nigga stepdaddy was a failure. Or he just ain't listen to him, or he ain't respect him like that. You know what I'm saying? Like he would his daddy. Maybe it would have hit different if his daddy told it to him. I don't know. But I know damn well, boy, I'm not letting no young man in my presence think that it's cool for him to give somebody $1.2 million a year simply because they are there. Absolutely. You understand? Nigga ain't seen $1.2 million. You know how hard it is to make $100,000 a month? Hell, you know how hard it is to make $100,000 a year? This stupid nigga giving it away. Here you go. This fat bastard finna be out of the NBA pretty soon because he don't look like he gonna make it too much longer. That nigga out here looking like a roly-poly, boy. He ain't got much time left. That nigga eating everything. Yeah, he's still gonna get that. But shoot, half that's gone. He better be coming up with another way to get some money. All jokes aside, do you know how bad that is that you're gonna have to look your baby in the face and say your mama sucked Peters on camera for a living? You ain't think about that before you put your seed in that woman, man. Then what you gonna have to tell your son, this is what your mama do. And you kissing her in the mouth. Now your son got a kiss her in the mouth.
Some mouthwash for it.
Ain't no mouthwash for that. This woman's a professional whore. This who you have a baby with? You don't love yourself. You don't love yourself. Porn stars ain't supposed to get no hug. Let me tell you like it is. You pop coochie for pay, you don't get no hug. You gotta be a damn fool to marry a woman like that. And you know it. I'm talking about it's horrible. It's horrible. And the reason why I mention that stuff, because young men need to hear that. Because somebody supposed to tell them young men, stop fooling with women like that. Don't even have sex with women like that. Don't even entertain a woman like that. As a woman, you're supposed to tell your son, you're supposed to find it, slap that nigga dead in his mouth. I know damn well I just ain't hear you on the phone with no porn star. She do what? You supposed to slap that nigga. I wouldn't care if he was 37. You supposed to walk up there and backhand that nigga. No, sir, I didn't raise you like this. I ain't raised you like this. This is not the move. You imagine if Mara came in here to my mama. I found a prostitute. I love her. Yeah, that junk be different when it's your child. You look at other people cheering, you ain't got nothing to say. Get that money. Nah, nigga. Somebody find him and slap him. He says, okay, the little boy calls his classmates clowning. Yeah, man, nigga, how can you imagine that you in school and your kids find your mama on OnlyFans? She's showing areolas and clitorises on OnlyFans. All your friends picking on you. Nigga don't give a damn about these nice clothes you buying me. Mama, you a hoe. And they picking on me. People don't be thinking about that stuff before they make decisions. Your children got to live with that. Imagine you come home, you find out your daddy a bocce man. All the kids find out. They picking on you. I don't know. These kids might not pick on you for that. In my day, you were getting ranked. Your daddy gay? This ain't got nothing to do with you. I'm still ranking on you. Your daddy gay. Come on, man. Verse 34, man. Your daddy gay? Damn, he say Jit killed himself. Golly. You don't even know what that means. Man, how old was the little boy, man? That's tough. That means them children picking on him hard. But see, that's when parents don't be really. That's why I was telling you what I was telling you last night, man. You got to really wait on the choices and the decisions you make, man, because they could fall. Y'all seen that clip when Kim Kardashian was crying, talking about, they see my cry face on Roblox. Good thing you can't read. Well, you should have thought about that before you became famous for making porn tapes. Now I got to explain this to my children. Dang, man, Tavon said that little boy was in the 4th or 5th grade. Was she dressed like a man? Was these white women? No, because you know the white lesbians, you know, they be real rough around the edges. But they together. They whole confused. Look at Michael. Yeah. You come from a city of confused people. You got sisters who walk outside in the cold weather with thong on. Yeah, that's what they do. Man, I'd be throwing eggs like niggas like that if I lived in New York City. Man, get your sissy behind out of here. Come on, man. Verse 34. Just for kicks. That's just for my own personal amusement.
Then hear you in Shamahim and forgive the sin of your people, Yasharal, and bring them again unto the land which you gave unto their fathers.
Pause. So let's go to Daniel. Notice what he said, right? He said, forgive the sin, right? That's what he said, right? If they confess it. Now we want to go back to Daniel. We want to look at verse 4. With verse 3, we want to look at what Daniel was doing.
We're on 9,
10. Daniel 9 and 3. Sean says, son, the perfect example not to prostitute your daughter. Get that for them so they can see it. Leviticus 19 and 29, I believe. Say allegedly, Chris Jenner was supposed to have been involved with the sex tape, according to Ray J. I think their mama just had a lust for the spotlight so bad that she didn't care what she did to her daughters as long as it accomplished what she was seeking.
Do not prostitute your daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom and the land become full of wickedness.
Tell them what prostitute means.
Kalos, profane, to defile, to pollute, to desecrate.
Do not desecrate your daughter. How do you pollute her? You pollute somebody, you make them unclean by the things that you teach them. Now, this is not Yahuah talking to the woman to not do that to her daughter. This is Yahuah talking to the men not to do it. That's why I said what I said, because I understand that. I can't do X, Y, Z and send my daughter out the door and think that the world gonna treat her a particular type of way, because they're not. They're not. You know what I'm saying? See, I don't deal idealistically or what I think things should be. I know what's on the other side of that door. And I know at the end of the day, all these children that we got, they special to us. The world don't give a damn about them. And some of y'all know that for how some of your school administrators interact with your children, or you see them interact with other children. Them people don't care about your kids, man. Not like you do. They're not invested in your children like you are. Now, don't get me wrong. You'll run across teachers and administrators who are invested in the children that go to their school. I'm not saying that it ain't teachers and administrators who do, because that would be a lie. You know what I'm talking about? But in general, them people don't care. They're not invested in your children like that. They're not dedicated to their success or for them to have fruitful and positive interactions with the opposite gender. They don't care about that. Go ahead.
And I set my face unto Yahuah Elohim to seek my prayer and supplications with fasting and sackcloth and ashes.
With fasting and what?
Sackcloth and ashes.
And he also prayer, right? And supplication, fasting. And what did he say? And as he was praying under Yahuah Elohim, what he did?
And made my confession.
He made his what?
My confession.
He made his what?
Confession.
Now, see, this is the key point. What did we just read? What is the stipulation in order for your sins to be forgiven? Confession has to be made. Then he said he'll hear from Shamahim. So when you turn around and we go to verse 20 again of the same chapter, and we'll move quickly. And what Yahuah showed this man, because he did this, because he actually showed the confession that would take place in this house. Oh, my bad. And give me Hordem in Leviticus 19 to 29. See, now when you look at that on the spiritual aspect, is that the scribes and the Pharisees polluted his daughter. You know what I'm talking about?
Hordem to commit fornication, to be a harlot.
So listen, right? And when I say that, not just the scribes and Pharisees, but all the pastors of Yasharal over time, they polluted his daughter. They desecrated her because they didn't. Give me Ezekiel 22 and 25.
A conspiracy of her prophets in the midst thereof, like a roaring lion.
Tell them what conspiracy means. Ezekiel 22 and 25.
Kasher, conspiracy, treason, an alliance.
An unlawful alliance. You got a whole bunch of people, he's saying they have unlawfully gathered to do something. Ezekiel 22 and 25.
A conspiracy of her prophets in the midst thereof, like a roaring lion ravening the prey. They have devoured souls.
They have what?
Devoured souls.
They've what?
Devoured souls. They have taken the treasure and precious things. They have made her many widows in the midst thereof. Her priests have violated my law.
They've done what?
Violated my law.
What else they do?
Have profaned my Kadash things.
They've done what?
Profaned my Kadash
things. They
things.
polluted that which is sanctified.
They have put no difference between the Kadash and profane.
They put no difference between that which is unclean and that which is set apart.
Neither have they showed between the unclean and the clean.
They ain't showing no difference. This is how you prostitute your daughter.
And have hid their eyes from my Shabbat, and I am profaned among them.
Now I'm unclean in the eye. Now God unclean in the eyesight of the people. I just want you to understand how you profane your daughter. Go back to Leviticus 19 and 29. That's how you profane your daughter. When you don't teach her right from wrong, when you don't teach her what is just, when you don't teach her this or this, that, and the third, then you're going to profane it because she's going to go out here and she's going to act a fool. See, contrary to popular belief, it is not your duty and job to just give a child everything that they desire. No, it's not. Their life ain't about how much fun they can have. No, that's not what it's about. You know what I'm talking about? Because if they don't know the difference, they're going to go out here and act a fool. And that's going to rest on your lap. That's not what it's about. All that stuff cool, but I've been telling you that for years. All that stuff cool. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But at the end of the day, your job is to prepare them for adulthood. Not how much fun you can have with them. Because what's the good if you had a whole bunch of fun but no wisdom to give them? What good is that? If you ain't had no wisdom and no understanding to give them, the fun meant nothing. Because now they're going to be a fun dummy as an adult. That's how it's going to go. You know what I'm talking about? Read Leviticus 19 and 29 one more time.
Do not prostitute your daughter to cause her to be a whore.
Prostitute. That wouldn't mean when you have her to be unclean, she going to commit fornication. And we ain't talking about fornication as forth as just having illicit sex as Leviticus lays out. Who you see with one of the number one purveyors of worshiping other gods? Women. You know what I'm talking about? And you know why? Because them other gods don't have no restriction on their behavior, and they allow them to do and be whatever it is that they want to be. And Yahuah does not allow that. So he's telling the men, do not prostitute your daughter. So it's not prostitution like she's selling coochie. Don't allow her to be unclean. You allow her to be unclean, she's going to commit fornication, which is what you see in Revelation 2 with Jezebel. What he said about Jezebel? She's seducing my servants to teach them to commit fornication and eat things sacrificed to idols. And I gave her space to repent, her and her children. He said, but since they ain't want to do it, I'm going to kill her and all her children, and they going to know not to play with me. Read it again.
Do not prostitute your daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom and the land become full of wickedness.
Land become full of what?
Wickedness.
What you see in the earth right now. The young women have been defiled. They commit fornication. Now the land is falling into fornication and the land is full of wickedness. What did it really mean? That women have to be moderated. And if women aren't moderated, the land will fall into wickedness. Now with all the manner of wickedness in it, and a lot of these men are weak-willed, they won't moderate no woman. You already know. As it's already said, if she can't be corrected and she can't be directed, and then shoot, she don't even need to be selected. You need to get rid of her. Any woman who don't want to take direction or moderation or anything, it's just best not to deal with her. Because it's not worth the trouble. Because the only thing going to happen is wickedness is going to follow that. What is wickedness? It's that which is not right. That which is disagreeable to Yahuah. That has nothing to do with that all women are like that. We're talking about a disagreeable disciplinary problem. You know what I'm talking about? If you see that that's what type of person this is, you're supposed to leave her alone. It ain't even supposed to get far enough that you had a baby with her. It ain't supposed to get far enough that you're married. It ain't supposed to get that far. It's supposed to stop. Because you can't stop the land from falling to wickedness now. It's there. It's he, she's out here, man. I don't even know what you call the reverse. Or the she, he, that's what they call. Man, you understand that these niggas be wild talking about some pronoun? I be seeing, I don't know if people encounter this in real life. I don't know if it's internet stuff in real life with people with these pronouns. Maybe because we in the South, we probably don't run across that too tough. I don't know. Plus, I don't get out. You know what I'm saying? I don't be around people like that. So, I don't know. But I know on the internet, these niggas be going crazy. He doesn't use my pronouns. I'm not finna look at a nigga talking about I'm a he. Nigga, you got titties, though. And not fat people titties. You got actual mammary glands. Not calling you she, nigga. I told you the first time I was locked up and I seen that man, that nigga talking about, my name ain't Mike. My name Juicy. I'm not calling this big old rusty 6'3", 265-pound man Juicy. This nigga really, y'all have mercy on his soul. My homeboy Lil E did that. They called his name for mail. Then he said, Big Mike. Big Mike. Then he said, my name ain't Mike. My name Juicy. I'm like, man, nigga, ain't nobody calling you that, bro. Not calling no grown man Juicy. You understand? This nigga had weave in his head when he was in there with us, man. That nigga had, matter of fact, he had weave kind of like what Mystical had in his head. And it was stank.
Weave in there?
He was in the counter. They ain't take it out of his head.
Oh, okay. He had it before he
Yeah. He had it. You know what I'm saying? That junk was stank, man. I'm like, damn, dude. Why y'all let this big burly nigga in here with this stinking behind junk, man? Damn. Zoe just say he just seen them pronouns on the application. I seen one of them talking about they, us. Niggas say, nigga, that means that's legion. I was dying laughing. That nigga say, you got demons in you, boy. You talking about they and we. I say, hell no. Boy, the Lord can't get back around here soon enough. Boy, these people crazy over here, man. At least we can go somewhere else. I'd rather deal with niggas in idolatry and killing than the stuff they got going on over here. I'd rather deal with the beast and everything that come along with that than this crazy stuff they got going on over here. These people crazy over here, man. You know what I'm talking about? The women crazy, the men crazy, the children going crazy, everybody crazy. These people crazy over here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that junk is insane. You know what the crazy part is? All these niggas on the internet talking all this stuff, man, and we in the worst financial situation in the history of the United States of America, and niggas just act like your life finna be prosperous and great. Nigga, you got a senile man as the front man for a decaying and dying country. You got a former thought pocket as vice president of the United States of America. This woman is an ex-whore. That woman got passed around more. Come on, man. You don't even know. Man, look at, man, she used to mess with Montel Williams. That woman that made her rhyme. Say what? Yeah, that woman good old freak hoe, man. You know what I'm saying? Nah, she might be, you know. You know, she might be like the song, Shorty Swing My Way. Sure look good to me. Yeah, she was not a talk show, man. You know what I'm talking about? But she done made her circus. Man, y'all know them sorority girls be getting grounded and pounded, man, like a UFC fight. Y'all know what's going on. Y'all act like y'all wasn't on them college campuses to see what's going on. Montel Williams. He just was on some junk talking about simping his behind off too. Montel Jordan. He was on some doggone talk show telling niggas on his Jaheem. Put that one first. You see what happened? He said that's what he did so his wife wouldn't leave him. Now he looked like, you know what's funny? Then they show that clip of that nigga that used to be on that court TV show, and dude was like, hey man, that nigga say, man, I've been married for 25 years. That nigga say, you don't look like you happy. That nigga say, I am happy. Man, they flash forward, that nigga killed his wife, man. That nigga locked up by the two. Yeah, the bailiff on the court TV show. That joint was funny. Dude just said, man, you don't look like you happy, bro. He started, but the look on his face when he started chuckling. That nigga killed that woman, man. And he out on bond. Oh, they say, De'Aaron, so I told HR if he wanted that, he better call me king, because that's how I want to be preferred. And that was the end of that. Shoot. I'm going to start walking in there and telling these people I'm a millionaire. That's my pronoun. Now, who's going to give me my money? You know what I'm talking about? When they say how many millions, not one either, 100. Tax-free. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, he knew he was right, Craig. What am I talking about? Yeah, he knew he was right. That man was miserable. He ain't miserable enough to kill her, though. I read about how she's supposed to die, man. That junk sounded stupid. Come on, man. Daniel 9:20.
And while I was speaking and praying and confessing my sin and the sin of my people Yasharal, and presenting my supplication before Yahuah my Elohim for the Kadash mountain of my Elohim, yea, while I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening oblation. And he informed and talked with me and said, O Daniel, I am now come forth to give you skill and understanding. At the beginning of your supplication, the commandment came forth, and I am come to show you, for you greatly beloved. Therefore, understand the matter and consider the vision.
Go ahead.
70 weeks are determined upon your people and upon your Kadash city to finish the transgression.
To finish the what?
The transgression.
What else?
To make an end of sin.
To make what?
And to make reconciliation for iniquity and to bring in everlasting righteousness.
And to what?
To seal up the vision and prophecy.
And to do what?
Anoint the most Kadash.
Now remember, right? We looked at salt, not Ezra 6 and 9, right? But there's another thing mentioned, which is the wine. So this is the aspect that you're going to need for the confession with the investing, because you're going to have to deal with this wine. Give me Matthew 26 and 26 while I swing over here to Judges.
And as they were eating, Yahushua took bread and blessed and brake and gave to
so we can look at that bread as also the what? The wheat, if you would. Go ahead.
And brake and gave to the disciples and said, take, eat, this is my body. And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave to them, saying, drink you all of it.
For this is my what?
Blood of the New Testament.
Which is shed for what?
For many, for the remission of sins.
So now let's take a look at this wine as it pertains to the confessing and the making the end of sins and the reconciliation of iniquity. Judges 9 and 7.
And when they told to Jotham, he went and stood on the top of Mount Gerizim and lifted up his voice and cried and said unto them, hearken unto me, you men of Shechem, that Elohim may hearken unto you. The trees went forth a time to anoint a king over them, and they said unto the olive tree,
do what?
Reign you over us.
Now, we ain't gonna deal. We'll get to the oil part because the oil in that Ezra too. But of course, when you look at that oil, what it's asked the oil to do? To reign over us. Why is that important? Because the oil is representative of the Ruach. Give them the word for oil.
I mean, olive. That's a
Zayef. Olive tree. My bad.
That's olive or olive tree.
That's,
tree, the branch.
The tree, the branch. That's good. I was thinking about oil and didn't even pay attention. That oil ain't even over there. Read verse 9.
But the olive tree said unto them, should I leave my fatness, wherewith by me they honor Elohim and man, and go to be promoted over the trees?
And the tree said to the
fig tree,
come you and do what?
Reign over us.
Mm-hmm.
But the fig tree said unto them, should I forsake my sweetness and my good fruit, and go to be promoted over the trees?
Listen to this here, verse 12.
Then said the trees unto the vine.
Unto the who?
Unto the vine.
What Yahushua said he was? The true vine. Go ahead.
Come you, reign over us.
Hold on. Who else was dealing with a vine? That's important. Noah was dealing with a little vine, didn't he? Because he got on a little wine. They came and did what to him? Uncovered his nakedness. Same thing they did to the Lord when he got on some wine. They uncovered his nakedness too. And what ended up happening to them people? They got cursed just like Ham did. But we'll deal with that in a second. Come on.
And the vine said unto them,
should I leave mine?
Shall I leave my wine?
Should I leave my what?
My wine.
And which do what?
Cheer Elohim and man.
Cheer who?
Elohim and man.
And go to do what?
Be promoted over the tree.
Tell them what cheer mean, man. Give them wine and cheer.
Wine is Tarosh wine, fresh or new wine.
See, now they got a different word for wine because y'all know the word that get used for wine most of the time. Y'all might not remember. Yayin for the most of the time. Let's look at this other word for wine.
And then cheer is samak.
And y'all know about samak. So listen, right? Which this word for wine used a few times. Shoot, more than a few. But let's look at it, right? You got Tau, Rosh, and Shan. And the key point is it said this is new wine, freshly pressed, fresh grape juice, sweet wine. Tau, Ooh, Raj, ooh, Sean. Y'all, come on. T. Roche. You Roche? While y'all looking at that, come on, I'm going to get this Luke 5. What you over there doing, Renee? Renee. Muffet. Stanky. What's so funny? What's so funny? I don't see nothing funny. Renee. What y'all over there doing? Stanky, I meant to bring you a hat and forgot. I'm going to read this, Luke 5 and 33. And they said unto him, why do your disciples of John, why do the disciples of John fast often and make prayers likewise of the Pharisees, but you eat and drink? He said unto them, can you make the son of the bride chamber fast while the bridegroom is with them? But the days will come when the bridegroom shall be taken away from them, and then they shall fast in those days. And he spake also a parable unto them. No man put a piece of new garment upon an old, if otherwise, then both the new make a rent, and the piece that was out of the new agree not with the old. And no man put new wine in the old bottles, else the new wine will burst the bottles and be spilled, and the bottle shall perish. But new wine must be put into new bottles, and both are preserved. No man also having drunk old straightway desire new, for he say the old is better. See, now, in that aspect of what he said right here, go to the point that I made earlier. When people don't grow versus changing. See, when you just change, then what you're doing is you put in new wine in old bottles, and eventually it's going to burst. Because it's not going to agree together. See, that new information ain't going to agree with the old. That's why you got to put the old out and put the new in. That's why I say you got to make you a new heart and a new spirit. You got to be fully converted. See, a lot of people, you're not being fully converted. And the only way you can grow is through affliction. What you looking ugly for?
To be secured and paired to the covenant of the right hand of the highest.
To be secured and paired to the covenant of the right hand of the highest, which is clearly what he said, that this is my blood for the new covenant, right? Which is shed for many for remission of sins. But you got to understand something, right? And I'm being serious, right? Not being funny, not trying to crack no joke, none of that good whole stuff like this here, man. You got to understand. In order to grow, you must be made uncomfortable. You're going to have to suffer. Before this man became the son of God, he had to suffer. Did this man suffer at all before he became the son of God? No, he didn't. Every time the people tried to do something, he slid. Every time they tried to lock him up, he slid. But what he turned around and said when it was time, he said, my hour's come. Remember what he said to his mama? Get it for me. Luke 2, man. 2 and 1, tell me what it say. We talking about the wine. Talking about that new wine is going to talk about you being a new creature, which is a part of the confession, which you can't do until you actually hear the word in order to believe it, to call on it. Then when you call on it, now you, through the righteous obedience of faith, you're willing to make an investment. Which means I'm willing to take up my stake and sacrifice and suffer in the flesh. Come on with it, man.
And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. Mm-hmm. This taxing was first made when Cyrenius was governor of Syria, and all went to be taxed, everyone into his own city. Mm-hmm. Joseph also went up from Galilee out of the city of Nazareth into Judea, into the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be taxed with Mary, his espoused wife, being great with child. And so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. Hold on.
Not that it sound right. You read too much. I need to drop down. That's all. You ain't in chapter 2 at all. I knew I wasn't tripping.
It's Luke 2.
You said Luke 2.
Oh, well, John 2. Michael, what you got going on, cuz? You good? You in trouble or something? Because you're looking a little weird in the face. You ain't in trouble right now. You are? What have you done? What did you do, son? What you do, son? I ain't finna yell at you, bro. I'm just asking because I noticed you standing there and you looking weird in the face. Deductive reasoning tells me that you might have done something that you probably ought not. Oh, so you were playing. Don't blame anybody else for your choices. Just say, hey, I was playing. My mama got me standing right here. Don't put your choices off on other people. You're responsible for what you choose to do. Not anybody else. Ain't nobody can make Michael do nothing. Michael choose to do what Michael chooses to do. Now you just got to suffer the consequence, which is to stand there. This is part of being a man, man. You make a choice, you got to deal with, come with it. If you don't want to stand, make a better choice. That's all. You ain't got to look crazy, man. Ain't nobody yelling at you. Just got to make a better choice, bro. That's it. You understand what I'm saying to you? You understand what I'm saying to you? You sure you understand? John chapter 2, verse 1.
And the third day there was a marriage in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Yahushua was there. And both Yahushua was called and his disciples to the marriage. And when they wanted wine, the mother of Yahushua said on them, they have no wine.
They ain't got no wine.
Yahushua said unto
Paul,
her,
when you entered into that covenant with him in the beginning, you ain't had no wine. Come on.
woman, Yahushua said unto her, woman, what have I to do with you?
My hour is what?
Not yet come.
You see what he told her? What I got to do with you? My time ain't here yet. Many people try to beat that man, kill that man, lock that man up. That man ain't go through none of that. But when it was time for him to become the son of Elohim, that man had to be invested and suffer. Remember, he said, rise. My time is at hand to be betrayed into the hand of sinners. Because what he was praying, he said, hey, man, if it's possible, let that cup pass. That's why he said it's got to be according to his will, because he knew what was coming. Who you looking for? I'm right. It's me. You can leave these people alone. They ain't got nothing to do with that. You came around here for me. That's a man who was dedicated to the investment of which he was made. When he said, man, who gonna go for us? He said, send me. See, this is the problem. This is what I was telling the little brother in morning, man. Everybody want everything, but don't nobody want to have no skin in the game. How do you expect to derive benefits from no labor? How do you expect to get the Ruach HaKodesh, but you don't want to suffer? That means you don't want to sacrifice. You trying to climb up some other way. You a thief in the rock. That's what you is. You trying to enter into this man's kingdom different from the way that he laid out to get in. Now, of course, you can look at that naturally and apply that across the board in life. But, man, you're not going to get nothing if you're not invested. And that's what people's problem is. You want all the benefits with no investment. Then that's not how life works. Go ahead. Sean got the highest was consumed or destroyed to establish the covenant. Indeed. Indeed.
His mother said unto his servants, whatsoever he saith unto you, do. And there were set 6 water pots of stone after the manner of the purifying of the Yahudim, containing 2 or 3 firkins apiece. Yahushua saith unto them, fill the water pots with water, and they filled them up to the brim. And he said unto them, draw out now, and bear unto the governor of the feast. And they bare. When the ruler of the feast had tasted the water that was made wine,
he didn't know where it came from.
He knew not whence it was, but the servants which drew the water knew. The governor of the feast called the bridegroom.
And he said unto them, every man at the beginning do what?
Set forth good wine.
And when men are well
drunk,
then that which is
worse,
you have kept the good wine
until now.
What you don't even realize, it was good wine at the beginning, wasn't it? He said, but at the latter end, that which is better coming. That was a good covenant in the beginning, but this covenant you got now is better. It's built on better promises. It's built on, see, when you look at when Daniel made the confession, the very thing that Solomon said that if you pray towards this place and they confess their sins here, that's exactly what Daniel did, and Yahuah rewarded him by showing this is the end game. I'm going to make an end of sins. I'm going to make an end of transgression. I'm going to make a reconciliation for iniquity. I'm going to bring in everlasting righteousness and anoint the most to die. So that you can do, because I think I mentioned Hebrews 4 and 13 last night and we didn't read it. Hebrews 4 and 13.
Neither is there any creature that is not manifest in his sight, but all things naked and opened unto the eyes of him with whom we have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing then that we have a great high priest that is passing the Shamahim, Yahushua the son of Elohim, let us hold fast profession.
Let us do what?
Hold fast profession.
If you don't hold fast your what?
Profession.
That's a part of your confession is your profession. Go ahead.
For we have not a high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we,
that's right,
without sin. Let us therefore become boldly unto the throne of mercy.
Come boldly to the what?
Throne of mercy.
To receive what?
That we may obtain mercy and find mercy to help in time of need.
See, that's what he done been able to do. Now you can get something which you didn't have access to. And you can go straight to Elohim who can intercede to Abba on your behalf. Something you couldn't do before. Because the high priest wasn't Elohim before. The high priest was a man. Now you can go straight to Elohim. Come on back, man. What was that before? Judges 9? I mentioned Noah, right? Let's come on here and look at Noah, man. It's been a while since we talked about this here. We're working in. A lot of people like to talk about that. He had sex with his daddy. You got to be a damn fool if you think this man came in there and had sex with his daddy. With his mama. Yeah, I mean, that's based off what the law say about uncovering your father's nakedness. You know what I'm saying? But we not going that route with him. You know what I'm saying? That's for the nasty. I mean, you got grown men thinking Satan had sex with Eve. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know why dudes be wanting the angel to whip out a wee-wee and knock some women down. But they certainly do. They be pressed by it too. Angels did have sex with women. I be wanting to say, nigga, how you know you was there? Was you watching? You a voyeur? You into that? You were masturbating while you were looking at it? Did you wash your hands when you were finished? Genesis 9 and 18.
And the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Ham the father of Canaan. These the three sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread.
Tell them what overspread means.
Nafats, shattered, to break, to dash, to beat in pieces, to scatter, to be overspread, to cause to be discharged or dispersed.
Everybody got dispersed across the whole earth through those men. Go ahead.
And when Noah began to be a husbandman,
to be a what?
A husbandman.
And what did he do?
He planted a vineyard.
Let's pause. We ain't got to rush through nothing. All I'm gonna do is I got the doggone the playlist is backwards because the verse that's used is from Psalm 54. But I had started with Ezra 6 name and then changed it to what's in Psalm 54, and I couldn't change the playlist. So we had part 9 on this. We still gonna be on the same topic. I'm gonna put the same verse in Ezra 6 that was originally there, and it's just gonna be in the same playlist. So I'm not gonna create a Psalms 54 playlist. It's gonna remain the same Ezra 6 playlist. That'll just to maintain continuity. Now hold on one second. Because I'm gonna help you out on this one here. Well, not help you out, I'm gonna do this. When we deal with what a husbandman is, it is Adama Ish. You know what Adama is, right? That's ground, land. Where is the first place you see that word Adama at? In Genesis, dealing with who? Adam, or dealing with Adam. That's what Adam was taken from. Remember? Virgin soil. You know what I'm talking about? So, this is a man who deals with the ground. When you look at Yahushua, he's a man who deals with the ground. How do we know this? John 1 and 4.
In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And that light shined in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. Mm-hmm. There was a man sent from Elohim whose name John. The same came for a witness to bear witness of the light, that all through him might believe. He was not that light, but sent to bear witness of that light. Was the true light which light every man that come into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not.
Mm.
He came unto his own, and his own received him not. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of Elohim.
That's good, right? I just wanted you to hear that part because he dealt with man. Because what is he called? The son of Adam. And Adam comes from the Adamah or the ground. And then it said he planted a vineyard. What is vineyard? It is Karim. That is a vineyard. You got Kaf, Rosh, and Meme. Go ahead and talk to me. Kaf, Rosh, and Meme. Now, I want you to know, right? What does the book tell you about Yahuah planting the vineyard? Do you know about it, little Johnny? Are you aware? Oh, where your wife at? Boy, your people some rude niggas. Them your people over there on 22nd.
Separated by the Ruach of the highest.
Separated by the what?
Ruach of the highest.
Man, we went around there, man. That little heifer out there smoking reefer with her grandma. Then that bald-headed hoe gonna come down there talking about, y'all gonna bring the refrigerator in? I'm like, nigga, we taking the doors off to get it in the damn door. Then we get the fridge in the house. Y'all need to hurry up. We need to put our food back in the fridge. I say, man, well, you don't bald-headed hoe, how about you put the door back on the damn fridge? You know what I'm talking about? That was, she said that when we first got there. You should have left it in the driveway. That old lady can't get that fridge in there. She looked like she ain't got nobody to help her. Or them your people on Steel Street? That nigga there was hard. Your mama like that. He talking about, she said you supposed to help me move the fridge in the garage. She said y'all supposed to take it. I said, nigga, I ain't got no such thing of the sort, sir. I said, boy, he told me you ain't gonna take the doors off to get it in the kitchen? Hell no. Nigga, I'm finna go home. It's 4 o'clock. Figure it out.
To be filled with the Ruach of the highest.
To be filled with the Ruach of the highest. Give me John 15:1, sir. He say you put them TVs up yourself, boy. You know, messed up them people's walls, boy. How many holes you put in the drywall? That ain't finna be patching drywall. That nigga probably tore them people's walls up looking for that stud. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga, you should have checked it before you bought it. It was, and if she went in there and checked it, she should have taken it. It say mattress on the box. Stevie took 3 of them. Oh. Oh, shoot, nigga, you should have read that before you bought it, because I damn sure did.
It's a mattress in a box.
That's the only reason why I grabbed it. Stevie said, that's a mattress, nigga. He grabbed 3 of them damn self. That nigga did grab them damn mattresses. And them air fryers. Gave it to his old lady. He gave it to his old lady.
It worked.
It did, because we got one that right on the counter. D used it regularly. And damn, so I told you she was one of them home shopping network people. She had a whole bunch of stuff in box.
I think Rico went in there and found a brand new TV in a box.
Yeah, Rico did find a brand new TV in the box. That nigga damn sure took it home. Them nigga be ready to grab all them TVs. I'm like, nigga, what y'all grabbing all these damn TVs for? Y'all don't watch no TV.
We gonna sell them.
Nigga always talking about they gonna sell something. Nigga, what I look like? This ain't Walmart, nigga. We ain't got no refund policy. Ain't no returns. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't even read the box. Crystal say send her the mattress in the box spring, king size. Shoot, you must pay for postage. I don't even know how you mail that. Obviously, you just told me that. Hell, I ain't know a mattress came in the box. I was wondering how the hell they got it in there. Now that you mention it,
Roll that up. Seal it.
I ain't know mattresses could be rolled and placed in a box.
And once you open up, it just expands.
I wouldn't know. Well, she trying to kill that book.
You're not ready.
Come on, John 15:1.
I'm the true vine, and my Abba is the husbandman.
Listen, right? He the true vine, and his Abba is the what?
Husbandman.
So understand this here. How is he the true vine? Because in this instance, he telling you that his Abba is Noah. You know what I'm talking about? And as Noah planted a vineyard, he telling you that his Abba planted him. Go ahead.
Every branch in me that bear not fruit, he take away. And every that bear fruit, he purge it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Now you are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. No more can you, except you abide in me. I am the vine, you the branches. He that abide in me, and I in him, the same bring forth much fruit.
Paul, remember what it said in Judges 9? Who asked for the vine to rule over them? The trees or the branches, the people. You know what I'm talking about? And he said, should I leave from my wine? Notice that the vine said from his wine that cheer Elohim and man, or his new wine. What type of wine Yahushua said he would drink with you in the kingdom? New wine, freshly pressed. Come on, sir.
I am the vine, you are the branches. He that abide in me and I in him, the same bring forth much fruit. For without me, you can do nothing.
Hey, Crystal says she'll take that box spring. She said she'll pay the postage and all.
It's already uncoiled.
Oh, he said it's already been uncoiled. Well, shoot. You could do like the children used to do. You used to flip on box springs in your day. Pissy ones? You know, a lot of niggas always talking about they used to flip on pissy mattress. I ain't never been the one to do such a thing. Oh yeah, you done bounced on the pissy mattress. There's a girl I grew up with used to pee in the bed. Boy, that nigga had a piss stain on her bed so doggone big, I didn't think it was humanly possible. She had a bladder problem. You know what I'm talking about? You have some people, they just sorry, they just lay in the bed and pee. But after a while, you just got to throw that mattress away. You just sleep on the floor, baby. I'm telling you, man. You talking about this here like a circle, just a urine. I don't know. How you even clean that?
Heat clean.
Because I know it's mattress cleaning companies. You know what I'm saying? How you even clean that? All that piss. Just throw that thing away. Don't nobody want that.
I know where you attracting all of it.
You started early.
Yeah, but you gotta do it.
We was like 13, 14, maybe 12, 13. But she had a real life. I was about to tell a story. That just had me dying laughing. Boy, we was at the pool and one of my home. But now we in high school then, same chick. He in the pool being managed. That nigga put his finger to his nose. That nigga say, bro, I can't get it off. I said, that's what you get for being grown, boy. Nasty nigga, now you stuck. Nigga told you she pissing. No, nigga, the odor from her loins was rank. And that nigga was like, bro, I put bleach on it at all, it won't go away. The sad part was he was in the pool. You know how stink you got to be for the chlorine not to eat that up? Bro, this is no cap, bro. I remember that my nigga Dre, man. I ain't gonna call the chick name. Boy, that nigga that had me dying laughing. I say, bro, I do better than that. That's what I be telling you, boy. That when you leave with your wood, that's how you get in trouble. Cause she used to be come up to the park. This other chick, man, they be up there pop locking and dropping. And I'm like, man, these niggas going crazy. I'm like, bro, I know you're not finna go hit this chick, bro. I know that's what y'all not finna do. Man, y'all niggas crazy.
Yes, I am.
Man, a lot of niggas do that junk, man. Man, ain't that much horny in the world, boy. You gotta have standards for yourself, man. You just can't be like, she offering, so I'm gonna take it. You know what I'm saying? See, that's why women don't really raise their standards, because men lower theirs. If you know that you can get a man to be this kind of woman, then what's the motivation for you to be this kind of woman? If it's a nigga who gonna take you down here, it ain't none. You know what I'm talking about? As long as it's a nigga who will take you here and you can get sexual attention in you here, there's no motivation for you to be this kind of woman. You don't have to do nothing because these niggas ain't got no standards. These niggas will sleep with anybody. These niggas will wife anybody. Just to say, you think women get with dudes just to say got a man. You got dudes who get with women just to say got an old lady at the house. So they can get some yams. And they put up with all type of stuff. But I feel like Chris Farley, boy. I live in a van down by the river, boy. I ain't finna be in the house like that, dumb man. You around here looking ugly, you hate life. This woman sucking the life out you. You know what I'm talking about? You feel like you finna have a heart attack. You done turn to alcohol and drugs. Nah, man, don't live your life like that. Come on, man.
If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered. And men gather them and cast into the fire, and they are burned.
That's good, Bird. Why you sitting there like somebody daddy at a PTA meeting?
Look like he was about to listen.
That nigga was sitting there looking like a grown man. So you say he did what now? Yeah, that's what it is. Nigga like to hear looking like you somebody daddy. Come on back to Genesis 9. 9:21.
And he drank of the wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent.
Pause. Now, he said he drunk of the wine of the vineyard that he planted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get Jose 10 and 1.
Yasharal, an empty vine, he bring forth fruit unto himself, according to the multitude of his fruit. He have increased the altars according to the goodness of his land.
So good. Yasharal is what?
Empty vine.
He bring fruit unto his what?
Himself.
Now we just read Yahushua say he the vine. But see, Yahushua is also, his father's the husbandman, he the vine. But then, of course, in Isaiah 5, he said that he planted a what type of vineyard? A goodly vineyard. And that vineyard was who? Yasharal. So I'm telling you the instance that Yahushua in this instance can be the husbandman and the vineyard at the same time. You know what I'm talking about? Going back to also what's in Genesis 1, that the seed is in itself, and he bring forth fruit after his own kind. So he drank of the wine of his own vine, because that's clearly what the Lord did, right? And he was drunken. Come over here and tell me what drunken is. After that, Proverbs 23:19.
Drunken is shakar, to be or become drunk, or drunken to be intoxicated.
What's the character, man?
You got Sean, Kof, and Rosh.
Sean, Kof, and Rosh for drunken. Clearly, you've been consumed. You got consumed to be paired to the highest in this regard of being drunk. Proverbs 23:19. I ain't gonna go too long, Paul, because last night we did get 2 hours and some change, even though it got broke up into 3. Sometimes I think that just be that Comcast over there, man.
That's what it is.
No, God, tell me, because it's not the laptop. No, I'm saying no, it was beforehand, because Monty know what I'm talking about. It would have the buffering when the usage rate was too high. You know what I'm talking about? But with that junk go to. No, it'll say like, boom, it's disconnected. Being like the internet went out. And then it'll reconnect. Once it reconnect, the stream is over with. Because it's not going to start streaming again. You know what I'm talking about? You have to restart it. Before what we were dealing with the last time, just with the usage, computer getting too hot, it is slowing it down. Like the internet was just going disconnecting completely from the laptop and no other device in the house. Just this. Because it didn't disconnect from a phone, it didn't disconnect from the TV. You know what I'm talking about? Just the laptop. That junk weird. Because it didn't do it Wednesday, then it did it last night. Who knows? Because I don't even use the laptop except on the 3 days a week that we stream. That's the only time I use it. Because everything else, man, I can pretty much do that junk on my phone.
Hear you, my son, be wise and guide your heart in the way. Be not among wine bibbers, among riotous eaters of flesh.
Don't be among who?
Wine bibbers.
And riotous what?
Eaters of flesh.
That's why Daniel ain't want to be fooled up with them people.
For the drunkard and the glutton shall come to poverty, and drowsiness shall clothe a man with rags.
That's right.
Hearken unto your father that begat you, and despise not your mother when she is old.
Don't hate your mama.
Buy the truth, sell not.
That's right.
Wisdom and instruction and understanding.
I might got you in the wrong place, but keep on going.
The father of the righteous shall greatly rejoice, and he that beget a wise shall have joy of him. Your father and your mother shall be.
I did. You're gonna be. Well, go ahead. You're gonna run into it. It's all good. It worked out.
Your father and your mother shall be glad, and she that bare you shall rejoice. My son, give me your heart. Let your eyes observe my ways.
For a whore,
a deep ditch,
and a strange woman,
a narrow pit.
She also lie in wait
as a prey,
and increase
the transgressors among men.
That's why he tell you don't prostitute your daughter. See, I know a lot of people like to say these men, this, that, and the third, but Yahuah done already warned you. You better be careful, because a whore and a strange woman is just like the grave, and they lie in wait to cause men to rebel. You'll go against God fooling with a whore. That's why you can't be fooled up with no whore. And I told you, a whore just ain't no woman who pop no coochie. A whore can be a woman who is a spiritual whore. She's a fornicator. Jezebel was a married whore. You don't read nowhere about Jezebel giving that coochie away to any and everybody, but a whore she was, and she increased the transgressors amongst men. If she ain't did nothing else, go ahead.
Who have woe? Who have sorrow?
Who have what?
Who have woe?
Who have what?
Woe.
And what else?
Who have sorrow?
And what else?
Who have contention?
And who have what else?
Who have babbling?
Tell them what babbling is.
Siyak, meditation, complaint, musing.
Who has a complaint? Now listen, right? Who has sorrow, contentions, complaints? Who have what else? What's the last thing?
Wounds without cause.
No.
Who have redness of eyes?
There it is. Wounds without what?
Without cause.
Without what?
Without cause.
And what else?
Who have redness of eyes.
That they do what? They that do what?
Tarry long at the wine.
And then they seek what?
Mixed wine.
Tell them what mixed wine is, man.
Name sock. That's mixed drink, mixed wine, drink offering.
A drink offering. Uh-oh. Look not upon the wine when it's what?
Red.
When it gives what?
Color in the cup.
When it move itself aright.
At the last, it bite like a serpent.
It bite like a who?
A serpent.
Like a who?
A serpent.
And sting like a what?
An adder.
He say, Dan is a serpent, by the way.
Your eyes shall
That's
be
good. Listen, right? He said, who got that when you drink the wine? Now go to 1 Corinthians, what it is, 11, man. Verse 23. Staring at who? I ain't looking at you. I ain't moving nowhere. You moving.
For I have received of the Lord that which also I delivered unto you, that the Lord Yahushua, the same night which he was betrayed, took bread. And when he had given thanks, he brake and said, Take, eat. This is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. Mm-hmm. After the same manner also the cup, when he had supped, saying, This cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do you as often as you drink in remembrance of me. For as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, you do show the Lord's death till he comes.
So get what, right? Remember, he said he drank that cup, which was said for many for the remission of sins, right? And he said, who have what? Wounds without cause. What does John 12 tell you? That they hated me. John 15, that they hated me without a what? You know what I'm talking about? So remember, he said, who are these wounds? These are the wounds that I got in the house of my friends. You know what I'm talking about? Then on top of that, he said, then you have what? Contentions. Then he already told you that, you know what I'm saying, that you'll be hated among men if you keep my sayings. Then he said, you have sorrows. Well, what do you have sorrows for? Because you have those contentions. And that's where he's saying, who has complaint? Because remember, Jeremiah had complaint. He said, I wish you would have killed me in my mama's womb. See, I keep telling y'all, man, I know some people don't want to accept it, not necessarily accept it like it's not a real. Well, you are not going to be in the word of Yahuah, and your life just going to be a smooth sail. You know what I'm talking about? Because what did he tell you that he going to do with everybody? He tried the reins and seek out the heart to give every man according to his work shall be. That's the purpose of affliction. We done went through that before. How does man gonna know what's in your heart till you get tested? That's really gonna see your level of investment. You know what I'm talking about? See, I've been telling you, and I learned it a long time ago. You don't really see who anybody is until they have to go through some adversity or they don't get something that they want. You know what I'm talking about? When somebody don't get something that they want, or they got to go through something, that's when you see who somebody really is. When somebody get told no, you get to see who. Well, how many friends you done had, boy, and you run that, boy, that nigga ain't fool with you because you told them no. You know what I'm saying? Then you find out, damn, this nigga here really thought that I would this, that, there, and the third. Like this here. Just because your homeboy don't tell you, because a nigga feel like you should never tell me no. Why you feel like somebody should never tell you no? Who the hell are you? What's wrong with you? I ain't never understood that thought process, man. I seen that jump before I was in the world. You know what I'm saying? Niggas falling out with a nigga because the nigga told him no. Or I ain't got it. Or I can't right now. I done seen niggas get pissed at a nigga because the nigga say, nah, bro, I can't give you a ride. I ain't going that way. Nigga feel like you still supposed to take it. Well, I done seen nigga get upset because nigga like, hey, boy, hey, man, you can take me on the north side, but you going all the way on the south side. You know what I'm saying? But you on the west side. So you want me to go out my way to take you where you going. You ain't think about how you were going to get home before you left? Hell, you ain't even going home. You going to a freako house. I'm not taking you over there, bro.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm just adding that all in. But I'm just saying that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm just talking about the aspect like, man, I ain't going to be mad because the nigga don't owe me nothing. Like, what does Yahuah owe you? I'm going to show you what he owe you. Matthew chapter 6, man. This all Yahuah owe you. If you say you serve Yahuah, this all he owe you. Make sure because I don't need to read nothing after. 6 and 9. This all Yahuah owe you. Brother Marvin said it happened all the time.
After this manner, therefore, pray you, our Abba, which are Shamahim, how be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done in earth as it is in Shamahim. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For yours is the kingdom and the power and the esteem forever. For if you forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father Abba will also forgive you.
You ain't got to go no further. He said, give us this day our what?
Daily bread.
That's all he owe you. You know what I'm talking about? That's all he owe you. So I put on that raiment and shelter. Shoot, he don't even owe you that. He told you don't worry about no clothes. Your life is more than clothes, but he don't even owe you that. And y'all know what Proverbs 30 say. What that man asked for? Food convenient for me. Lest I be fool and forget Yahuah. That's why he say, man, lay up your treasures in heaven and not on the earth. Because where your treasures is, your heart will be also. Because you worry about the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's natural because you're human. You know what I'm talking about? You still flesh and blood. You still get, but at the end of the day, that's all the man owe you. What your law say? Now what Sean put on there, the shelter ain't part on there. The law say a husband don't owe his wife but 3 things. And what are those 3 things? Get it for him. Exodus 21 and 2. And I'm looking at it in the aspect of what Yahuah do for us, not what you and your wife.
If he take another, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish.
That's all he owes. Food, raiment, duty of marriage. Oh, you done forgot? Conjugal rights. You know what I'm saying? That's all he owes. That's all Yahuah owe you. For us, conjugal rights is the right to the Ruach HaKodesh. That's all he owe you. That's all he owe you. He don't owe you nothing else other than that. People feel like Yahuah's supposed to make you rich, make you have a certain this, a certain that. That man ain't never promised you that. That man ain't never promised you that. That man ain't never told you that. He ain't never insinuated that. You know where a lot of people get messed up with Yahuah the same way that people get messed up on people. You got expectations of Yahuah that he ain't never laid out that he would do. Of course, you can't necessarily talk to Yahuah directly to expound your expectations, but you place the expectations on this man that he never said he would meet. You know what I'm talking about? And most of us do that with people. Some men do it with women. Some women do it with men. You lay expectations on people that they'll never be able to meet. Oh, First Corinthians 7 say, amen, do benevolence. She want that weed? Come on through. Look at Michael. I need to know. Because she like this here. Because if I need it and want it, nigga, serve me. I already seen you over there whispering, nigga. Look at Michael. She talking about she gonna take it. Don't try to cover your face up. Don't be ashamed. Damn, Civic. You better make sure.
I need it now.
Well, you better go to Doc Ross, boy, and stock him up. That nigga bumping testosterone. That nigga gonna need the herbs. That nigga gonna need the Hortigo weed, the salt palmetto, the maca. But she finna take that from you. 1 Corinthians 7:1. That nigga takes that. What you mean you tired? I don't care nothing about those 16-hour shift. I need service. I need my oil change. Come on, 1 Corinthians 7:1. Why you always on the road? Be my father.
Now, concerning the things whereof you wrote unto me, good for a man not to touch a woman. Mm-hmm. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Mm-hmm. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence.
Let the husband render unto the wife what?
Due benevolence.
Go ahead.
And likewise also the wife unto the husband.
That's right.
The wife have not power of her own body, but the husband.
That's right.
And likewise also the husband have not power of his own body, but the wife.
There you go.
Defraud you not one the other.
He said, don't hold back that. See, I'm gonna tell you something.
Fraud.
Once you see a woman using her body as a weapon, you ain't got you nothing. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no wife. You just got a woman in the house. You know what I'm saying? Because now you trying to use your body as a means to manipulate me. I don't want to do it. I ain't doing it. You ain't got you nothing. She ain't hitting on nothing. She trash. You know what I'm saying? As a woman, you know the value of a woman is determined on what type of man you can get and can you keep him. If you can't keep no man, you a failure as a woman. You know what I'm talking about? I'm being dead serious. They ain't even being funny. Like if you can't keep a man, I ain't talking about if you ain't been with no men, like really been with no. I'm talking about you get a man and you can't keep. You know how many women y'all know who like they got boyfriend after boy. That means she's not a very good woman because you can't keep no man. Because I promise you, ain't no man leaving from no good woman. That's not happening. You know what I'm talking about? If you are a wife, man, ain't no man going nowhere. I ain't talking about you a wife because somebody married you. I'm talking about a wife in your heart and in your spirit. That's who you is. Man, I've been telling y'all that for years, man. Men don't leave wives. Hell, wives don't leave. The only people who leave are women who aren't wives. And men only leave women who aren't wives. Because that's a form of, you understand how evil that is? That you trying to use your body as manipulation on your husband, and then on top of that, trying to say you a godly woman at the same time. You evil as hell. Because you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing, and you know why you're doing it. That's no different than a man doing it. But you ain't usually hear no man turn around and say, I'm going to withhold penis from you. That usually doesn't happen. Not tonight, I'm tired. As a means to try to modify her behavior. Books say don't defraud. Because you know what he said, if you defraud, he's an avenger of those who do such things. See, we don't pay attention to stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what you're doing. Go ahead, sis.
Defraud you not one the other, except with consent for a time.
Except for what?
With consent for
except
a time.
Except for what?
With consent.
That means y'all had a conversation about that. Go ahead.
That you may give yourselves to fasting and prayer.
And usually it would become for fasting and prayer, but you would have a conversation about that. Hey, you know, we're not going to do X, Y, Z. Because if your wife come in the room and say she wants some sex, then you need to give her some sex. Because see, now, like I said, we're supposed to be godly people. But the book done told you this here. Listen what he say. Listen what he say Satan come in and do.
And come together again, that Hashatan tempt you not for your incontinency.
Because this is something that a lot of people don't really sit back and understand. A lot of women wonder why this man around here messing with this woman and that woman, because you ain't giving him no sex. And in your mind, you think he's supposed to go without it. But what's going to happen is Satan going to tempt him. And he might slide another woman because that's going to backfire on you. Because Jimmy tell you that backfired on his old lady. She came out here, I want to be saved. We ain't having sex no more. Okay, now you got another baby from another woman. Because that's what's going to happen. And you can call that man whatever you want to call him. But you set that game up by playing that game. Because you thought with holding coochie, he just was going to sit there and go without it. No, Satan going to tempt him because that man want to have sex. And that's what's going to happen to you. Now you want to call him this, that, there, and the third. But that's really more so of your failure as a woman. Because you played a manipulative game and it blew up in your face. You know what I'm talking about? That doesn't justify him for not maintaining what he was supposed to be doing as a man. But you can't play manipulative games and then think it's going to go in your benefit. Because if you purposely say, I'm not going to have sex with this nigga to modify his behavior, you can't be shocked he going to have sex with another woman. What did you expect? Well, you got men say they've been married, their wife ain't touched them in 6, 9 months, a year. Then this woman gets shot. He cheated on me. Well, damn woman, you ain't gave him no yams in a year. What you thought he was going to do? You thought he was supposed to sit at the house and come and take care of you every day and go without. You smoking crack. I don't know what made you think you was that special. You can't even deceive yourself into believing you that special. You know what I'm talking about? You can't. I ain't saying that to justify nobody's behavior. I'm telling you the reality of life. You ain't got to like it, but that's life though. How many men you think would really sit around and go a year or two with no sexual contact with their spouse and just like, well, bumping, I ain't gonna have sex ever again since she don't want to do it. You really think somebody's finna do that? Because that's still, as much word as in him, that's still a human being. That man testosterone move, he got desires. But I will say this here, and I'm a firm believer in it. If your wife ain't having sex with you, she having sex with somebody. I ain't even going for that. You just sitting here looking at me every day. You having sex with somebody.
I don't believe that.
But I've been living too long to go for that. I've been living too long to go for that. You a damn fool if you think that. You know what I'm talking about? She having sex with somebody. It might not be you, but it's somebody. And ain't no rose. And she, after a while, boy, she gonna feel like Coke and Pepsi. She want the real thing. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just being honest. You gotta be real with yourself. Well, you know you've been with one man and she ain't gave you no yams in a year. She having sex with somebody. I don't care what you say. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't going for that. I don't care what you say. You ain't gonna sell me that to make me believe it.
Getting down with something.
You've been somewhere with somebody.
Might be in your house while you at work.
That's just disrespect. That's just disrespect. And you know how many women get caught doing that? You know how disrespectful that is? To have sex in this man's house.
No business.
Nigga ought to break your kneecaps like the mob do. Yeah, man, you can't go for that. Nah, man, I ain't going for that. Can't nobody even convince me of that. I don't believe that. Children, y'all getting a little bit too hype. I don't know why. No, man, ain't nowhere in the world, bro. Ain't nowhere in the world. That ain't how that works. Man, I done told you, at the end of the day, though, it's a lot of people, a lot of women, they want to be married, but they don't want to be a wife. There's a difference for being married and being a wife. It's the difference from getting the validation that you feel like you got that somebody said that I'll marry you versus being a wife. So it's the same token when this man say, when that marriage call get called out. Remember what he said in Matthew 20? Hey, don't you come over here with that. Don't you come over here with that. You know better. Go on and hush it up. Keep it on the inside. What that is, that parable in Matthew 20 when he talking about that marriage supper calling the people out? Remember what he said he gave at the call and people said they didn't want to come to the marriage? Go get anybody who will come because they like the fact that they could be invited, but they didn't want to be a wife. See, it's a lot of people, they like, oh, we the Israelites and this, that, there, and the third. And they like the idea of being married to Yahuah, but they don't want to be his wife, though. Because it's responsibilities and duty that come along with being his wife that a lot of men don't want to meet. Hey, what y'all in here talking for? Hush your mouth. And that being real, man. Like I told you, what you see manifested in the natural is what you see manifested in the spiritual. Oh, it's a lot of brothers don't want to be Yahuah wife. They just want the benefits they perceive they can get from being married to him. But they don't want to be his wife because they don't want to serve. They don't want to be a part of nothing that's greater than them. They don't want to humble themselves under his authority. They don't want to look at and recognize it's about Yahuah and not you. How many times you see these brews around here making it about them? They don't really care about their husband. It's not about their husband. It's only husband and name only because for them it's validation. See, before you knew you was an Israelite, you ain't had nobody you could claim that was your husband. Now you found that out. All you want to be able to say is, I got a husband. But you don't want to be his wife. You don't want to be. It's like what you can see with Steph Curry's wife. She don't want to be his wife. She doesn't want to be his wife, not because necessarily he's a horrible person. She wants just as much or more attention and accolades as him. See, you can't be with Yahuah when you want all the esteem and praise for yourself. You'll never be a good wife at that point because you'll make it be about you and not Yahuah. And that's what you see a majority of brews out here doing. Come on, man. He said he was uncovered in his what? You in verse 21?
We're going back to Genesis.
Where you was at? Where you was at before that?
I was with that Corinthians.
Oh, yeah, he finished. His fourth is drinking that cup and showing his death till he come. We ain't need to hear the unworthy.
And he drank of the wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent.
Tell him what uncovered means. I know it's a hard word, but that just is what it is. Because it's not about the natural man. See, we're using a lot of stuff on the natural tip, but it's not about the natural man. We should be moving past the point of focusing on natural things.
That's the law. That is to uncover, to remove.
You don't think Yahushua was uncovered? Tell him what tent meant. You don't think Yahushua was uncovered in his tent when he drank that wine?
Tent is ohel. That is a tent.
That's
a home, a tabernacle.
A tabernacle. He was uncovered in his house. Wasn't Yahushua uncovered in his house? Don't the book say, I lift up the skirt and show your nakedness? What did it say with Adam? He said he was naked. Don't you realize when they came and grabbed Yahushua and put him on that tree, he was naked? His sins was exposed. Not his sins as a person, but the sins of the people. He was naked before God. How we know he was naked before? Didn't they strip the man butt naked? And then when he died, what did Joseph of Arimathea do? He wrapped him up with a linen sheet. Because he said, man, keep your garments lest you be naked and they see your what? Get it for me, man. Revelation 16 and 15. You realize something, when he drank that wine, he had to be uncovered, just like Noah. When you drink that wine, you get uncovered. That's why you confess your sins. You understand what I'm telling you?
Behold, I come as a thief. Baruch is he that watch and keep his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame.
See, this is what a lot of people sometimes we don't pay attention to and look at. You understand what I'm telling you? When you drink that wine, you become uncovered. That's what did Paul just say? You show his death till you come, right? That's why he say by doing it. The first time you drink it, your sins get uncovered. Your shame is, what did we just read in Hebrews 4 and 13? That everything is open and naked to whom we have to do. Ain't nobody walking around here clothed and hiding from Elohim. This man can see you. See, let's come back over here to verse 22. Genesis 9.
Mm-hmm. I read 21.
He read 21. Who came over there? Genesis 9 and 22.
And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brethren without. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid upon both their shoulders and went backwards.
Hold on, who said who saw it?
Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father.
Pause. What does Ham mean? Mama hot. Mama, hot. So what does hot mean in this regard, man? You're angry. Notice he said, curse be Canaan. And who the group of people the book say won't be in that land? Because they hot. They're angry. They're upset. Then it said the name and enlarge is the one who covered him up. And who the main people you see, especially in the new covenant, talking about getting that soul, getting that word? Israel and them Gentiles. That's what you see, Ham. Even though Ham can slide on it. Come on with it. Ham and Shaphat did what?
Took a garment, laid upon both their shoulders, and went backward, and covered the nakedness of their father, and their faces backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness.
See, remember, what did people stand out there and see who looked upon their father's nakedness? Let his sin be on our children's children. They looked upon his nakedness, and that's why they cursed. It's a lot of brews walking around here. They curse, boy, because you the seed of the people who said, let that blood be on our children's children. I hope y'all do understand and know that if people walking around here who are the progeny, the offspring, the genealogy descent of the people who said that, they are representative of those who are enemies of the stake, and they enemies of the stake as it is right now. See, again, what is an enemy of the stake? Anybody who hates self-denial and self-sacrifice is an enemy of God. If the aspect and the thought process of denying yourself and sacrificing your desires for Elohim, then you a hater of God. You an enemy of God. There is no way around it. You can't justify that and spin it. Come on.
And Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done unto him.
He awoke from his what?
His wine.
He woke from his what?
His wine.
Yahushua awoke from his wine, didn't it? Let's look and see what happened when he awoke from it. Daniel 9:25. You can make it 27. We about to get on off. Daniel 9:27. Muffin near.
And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week.
He should do what?
Confirm the covenant with many for 1 week.
But before he could confirm it, he had to do what? He had to drink that wine to wake up for him. Come on.
And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease.
He'll cause the what?
The sacrifice and the oblation to cease.
Give me Hosea 3:1. Muffin near. I see you. Muffin man.
Then said Yahuah unto me, go yet, love a woman, beloved of friend, yet an adulteress, according to the love of Yahuah towards the children of Yasharal, who look to other gods and love flagons of wine.
They love what?
Flagons of wine.
They like a little sippy.
So I brought her to me for 15 of silver, and an omer of barley, and a half omer of barley. And I said unto her, you shall abide for me many days. You shall not play the harlot. You shall not be for man. So I also be for you. For the children of Yasharal shall abide many days without a king, and without a prince,
and without a what?
A sacrifice.
Without a who?
A sacrifice.
Without a who?
A sacrifice. Without an image, and without an ephod, and a teraphim. Afterwards shall the children of Yasharal return and seek Yahuah their Elohim, and David their king, and shall fear Yahuah and his goodness in the latter days.
See, they went many days without a sacrifice to the Lord, did it? Of course, it says about there. We don't need no sacrifices. Now you already got one. A great one. An eternal one. Niggas right here talking about they're going to build a third. Damn about no third temple being built. I don't care if they build 7 of them. That's pitched with man hands. Ain't none of my concern. That's all people want to talk about is what sinners going to do. You don't never hear these niggas talking about what Yahuah going to do. Always what sinners going to do. Give a damn what no sinners going to do. Now, I will say this here. Niggas were dead wrong for clowning about that doggone thing blowing up, if that even really happened. You know what I'm saying? Because it was named Titan, so that tells you something in and of itself.
Said the dude was a fan of the Titanic.
Hey, my familia. No, I mean, I know why people clowning because they rich. They like, oh, why the white people going down there? You know what I'm saying? That junk just weird that people took pleasure out of. Seemed to make them happy.
They rich, don't matter to me.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't had no thoughts. I ain't really give it that much thought. I was like, well, shoot.
That's unfortunate.
It is. Costly risk. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not saying I didn't care. I was indifferent. Because the reason being is niggas celebrate all type of niggas dying. I mean, I guess I ain't see a whole lot of memes of it. Some niggas say that some of them were funny. It's just for me that I was indifferent.
Well, my timeline was full of it.
But I mean, I expect that from people because they say, buddy, knew that this wasn't going to be a safe voyage and did it anyway.
I think that's why people
so
really
I probably why people were clowning because you knew you were going to die.
You don't hop in the
You know what I'm saying? You pretty much set yourself up for failure. Then his son ain't even want to get on the boat and got on the last minute. I wouldn't have got on that whole daddy. You dying by yourself. And that's exactly what I'd have told him. I said, Daddy, I got to stay alive to get your money when you're dead.
Man, I want the other thing. That nigga was at the club.
Because you finna die, Daddy. And I got to get paid. Because bro at the club, he going to get the money. I need the money. I want the money. Because I ain't getting on the damn thing. I ain't getting on something big at this table to sit on there with 4 other dudes. That nigga Jimmy crazy. That nigga said, boy, before that thing blew up, I would have got me some coochie. I said, Jimmy, it wasn't no women down there. He said, he wasn't no women on there. The nigga said, what they got on there for?
I'm going to die here.
He was dead serious.
He was until he realized it was this number of men.
It was just number of men on there. He said,
that's the last year.
Hey, for real. Exactly. That's why he felt.
I would have said, I pray the nigga with the gospel.
Guess what? If you knew the gospel, you wouldn't have tipped Yahuah and got on that submersible. Cause boy, I think people underestimate water pressure. You know what I'm saying? Nigga crack jokes about people can't swim to that in the third, but you ain't going that deep off in that water, boy. If you go deep off in ocean water, that junk will bust your eardrum.
I was saying it was really the material that it was made of. That junk, there ain't no submersible made out of that material that was used to make that one.
Yeah, man, that water pressure ain't no joke, boy. That junk will smash you.
Yeah, going down as far as they was going down.
Yeah, now and because it already been down there, they said it was already from that constant stress from all them other journeys.
I ain't going down there. What I want to go down there to see an insurance fraud scam for? But that's all the Titanic was. And they claim that it was that's not the Titanic that's down there. It was another boat made just like the Titanic that they sunk for the purpose of insurance. Because you know who owned the Titanic? J.P. Morgan. So you already know what went down.
He been working a long time.
J.P. Morgan owned the Titanic.
I know that family got so many bodies.
And they also say it was several international bankers on that boat that died. Yeah, because you know the Federal Reserve thing, you know they did the Federal Reserve, if y'all don't remember, up there at Jekyll Island out there outside of Brunswick. So a lot of the men who was on that boat was against that. You know what I'm saying? And they happened to die that day. But nevertheless, that's another conversation for another day. Come on back, man, Genesis chapter 9. Yeah, a lot of people believe that. I mean, it is it is ironic that around the time they were trying to establish the Federal Reserve, that all these high-ranking banking officials happened to be on this boat at the same time.
Yeah, because they had the power to pretty much reject what the feds were trying to do.
And then them niggas dead, and then after that boat sunk, the Federal Reserve got ratified not too long after that. So it definitely looked like something they murk a nigga about. She said, I heard one say it's a portal underwater, and it was suspect they found wreckage at the. You know, a lot of people always say that they believe. Because, man, when I would get my hair done, man, Run These Marines playing some old goofball nigga talking, man, this nigga was the dumbest nigga I ever heard in my life. That's one thing I can say, boy, about that internet, man. Nigga get on that internet, say anything, nigga listen to him. You know what I'm saying? This nigga was like, see, it's a wall in Antarctica. On the other side of the wall is our people. See, memories is just downloaded files in your cells. See, you can only download the files. I said, man, this nigga crazy. I said, man. He say memories like this. See, you don't understand what I'm saying. I'm like, nigga, you ain't saying nothing.
See, don't die. Such a thing as death.
That boy said definitely an illusion, bro. Not real.
Woo! I guess he gonna say that when he meet the Lord.
That was the toughest one.
Well, what kind of illusion is it? Because I seen some dead bodies and that nigga look dead to me.
My man on the boat that day, we just found dead like right in Texas. But that junk decomposed. That junk like white. It was floating in the water just like that.
Definitely an illusion.
It's an illusion.
Bro,
that's how the dude was talking. I can't even remember the stuff he was saying because she got her two middle churn bite. You know what I'm saying? So they in there watching YouTube shorts. She was like, yeah, put this one on. That nigga be talking about some stuff. Man, that nigga went to talking, man. I said, man, get this nigga all the hell off the TV, man. I'm talking about, man, the little girl in there like, man, I'm going to sleep. This nigga making my head hurt. You know what I'm saying? Baby, little baby ain't nothing about 8, 9 years old. She said, this making my head hurt, man. I can't listen to this nigga no more.
I don't understand what he talking about.
I'm talking about he talking like he just confident too. You know how many? I'm talking about confidently stupid.
Like they believe what they say.
They really believe it, and they selling it to you. I'm be honest with you. Them niggas don't believe what they saying, but they got to make you believe it so you'll spin with them. Because all them niggas who get on the internet talking that stupid stuff, they selling something to you too. Buy my books, buy my course, buy my product. I help you get your chakras in line. Yeah. You cut your head? Who hit you in the head? Come on back, man. Genesis 9. Verse 25.
And he said, curse Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren. And he said, Baruch Yahuah Elohim of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. Elohim shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tent of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years, and all the days of Noah were 950 years. So when you look
at this one here, right, guess who got anointed the most Kadesh right here? Shem. Because everybody going to serve Shem and dwell with Shem. Because Noah drank that wine, he sent the blessing down on his son. Yahushua drink that wine, he put the blessing down on his son. Because everybody going to be your servant. You know what I'm talking about? But we'll start right there for now. Y'all willing, we'll come back on Wednesday. So hallelujah for Yahushua, the word. Appreciate y'all time. Bless y'all the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua, man. Yahuah willing, man. We'll be back Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Continuing down the road. We still got more stuff to look at the wine. That was just one element of it. You can look at it from a couple different angles. Especially with Elohim saying the wine cheer Elohim and man. And the fact of how the wine cheer man, because it give you access, amen, give you access to the covenant of life of what Daniel was getting showed when he confessed and prayed to his God, like Solomon instructed us to do, or was praying to Yahuah to do, if we got caught up in sin and you needed to confess. See, I'm be honest with you. You can't confess without the word, meaning you got to hear a word of faith to be able to confess his name and to confess your sins, and that's when you can be able to begin to make the investment. Because I'm telling you, and I'm just telling y'all this came to my mind based on what Trav said he was telling me, them boy was talking about, because he said he told him that he wasn't talking to him nothing more about but the gospel of the Lord. He said pretty much everything that they have been dealing with, he perceived that it's not benefiting the people because it ain't no growth coming from it. You know what I'm talking about? So I was like, it's really coming through, because with the law in which you know you are brute, you don't have to invest anything. You know what I'm saying? Like when you look at Rahab, when it said faith without works is dead, she invested something because she put her life on the line by hiding the spies. That's an investment that she trusts Yahuah because she got skin in the game. You understand what I'm telling you? She got something to lose. That's why she able to dwell in the land. That's why I said, that's why I agree with that. And I reshared what the man was talking about. You can't run something if you're not willing to work in it, because you don't have anything invested and you don't value what you don't work for. And I don't know why anybody think anybody gonna give you something and you don't want to work for it. See, we're not talking about doing the works as far as keeping his commandments. We're talking about what is the work of Elohim, but believe on him whom he hath sent. You have to do the works of faith. He said, hey, man, if you were Abraham's seed, you do the works of Abraham. That's what he told them. No, they ain't skip over it. They read it and didn't understand it. They was like somebody who was illiterate. I can't read what that say. I ain't finna keep reading it. You know what I'm talking about? Well, hold on. You look at this here, right? When you run down this, faith without works is dead, right? He mentioned Abraham to the fact that he was willing to offer his son that was promised to him. He knew Yahuah was willing to perform what he said, and he was willing to invest his own flesh and blood. What are you going to be willing to invest to receive the kingdom of God that you say that you want. Because if you ain't willing to invest nothing, I promise you, you're not going to get nothing. I bless y'all, the house of Elohim, in the name of Yahuah. I love y'all, appreciate y'all. Yahuah willing, man. We'll be back on Wednesday and make it do what it do.
I'm making do it.